Correct.
All right, hello Miami. It is Wednesday, February 13th, 2019, and this is Nothing's Going On, episode 4.
Whoa.
I am your host, Rafa, and I am here with the stellar panel. Is something wrong?
Episode 4, it feels like 146.
All right, on this episode of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about 3 points coming up this weekend. We're going to talk about that I-395 836 boondoggle project that they got going on. And we're going to talk about a couple other things. Valentine's Day maybe in Miami, Latinx in Miami. We'll see where we go. Let me introduce you guys to the panel that is here with me today. Very happy to have everybody. To my left, he's been doing the Slap and Tickle party here in Miami since 2012, growing it from nothing to something huge. Now it's Slap and Tickle Records. He's playing at 3 points. He also makes original music. It is DJ Santi Caballero.
Hey. What's up, guys?
To his left, he's got the biggest hands in the handling game.
That's right, baby.
But this week he's tending to boats. It is Arturo Andler.
Yes, thank you. Good to be here. Hello, Miami.
And to his left,
Miami, you're looking wet tonight.
Oh, my Lord.
she needs no introduction. Her name is Anna.
Oh, man. These guys got, like, the best intro.
And here's Anna.
And here's Anna.
Oh, do you have a plug for yourself?
The only plug I have is that I need to preface everything I say tonight with I've had a long day. And that's it. And that I'm not drinking that much tonight, so
Ooh.
boo. Boring.
Hey,
Whatever.
it is what it is.
Exactly. Hi, Miami.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get started. And I have something to talk to you about for this little off-the-cuff section that we always do at the beginning. I have a little story for you guys that happened to me the other day.
Do tell.
I was at Las Rozas, which I go there way too much, and we were watching a show, and it was great bands, Palomino Blonde, Las Nubes, and then Cave of Swimmers. It was during Cave of Swimmers, and this is like 1 o'clock in the morning. This place is a dive, okay? Well, they bill themselves as a dive. It's not exactly the
Pretty
nicest.
big.
It's big, but it's not really a dive, but
It's
they
well
build
executed.
They,
The vibe.
they bill themselves as such, okay? So kind of ratty, whatever. I'm in there watching the show inside, and I light up a cigarette right there in front of the stage. And you can't technically smoke inside, but I'm like, whatever. It's like 1:30 in the morning. Who cares?
It's a metal band.
Yeah, it's a metal band. I'm watching the show.
Seems reasonable.
And somebody comes up to me, taps me, and says, hey, you can't smoke in here. Another person, just a person in the crowd.
Oh, not a person who works there.
Not a person who works there.
Ooh.
During a metal set.
Yes.
During a metal set.
Is there a lot of yelling?
No, actually, it's not like a
I
screaming
was with you.
metal.
I didn't notice this.
So I take my cigarette and I say, well, whatever, I'll put it out. And it was
No
just
biggie.
lit. I put it out. Now, here's what my question is. Is this person being a square? Or is this person being, like, woke 2019, like, okay, now...
Are they not the same thing? Oh, I'm joking. I mean, not really.
I can tell you who's definitely not woke.
Or option C, political correctness and sensitivity has gone way too far.
Well, that's what So, obviously,
both
I was
those
being an
things.
asshole for smoking in the place that you can't
Were you?
smoke.
I didn't even know you couldn't smoke at Las Rosas because you can smoke in so many bars in Miami. I didn't know that that was one of the ones where you cannot.
Yeah,
I
so...
think it's by policy,
yeah, it's
by
just a
venue.
Yeah.
So, my question is, was this person being, like, cool because they're telling the smoker not to smoke, and now it's, like, cool
Man.
not to smoke? Are they being dorky?
Probably dorky, but maybe your smoke was
Or-
blowing in their face and they didn't want it.
One thing that, no, they came from...
Oh, they are being dorky then. They weren't just standing right next to you. They went
No, they
out
were
of their
not.
way. They're being dorky. They're being dorky. That's it. We decided.
No,
it's voted
but,
on.
being woke is cool. So telling some guy not to smoke is the new cool, which is profoundly uncool, especially during a metal set, right?
Dorky.
Come on.
I mean, that is my one. And then the one thing that I didn't consider, which might also be, maybe the person was trying to warn me that I could get in trouble for smoking.
No way.
No?
Asshole.
I mean, worst case scenario, like a bouncer comes up and tell you, and you're like, all right, I'm sorry, then no or something. But I mean, I guess in the end, you have to respect it a little bit. It's like, dude, you know what? If you're so strongly against it that you really want to come up to me and tell me not to smoke in here,
But wait,
And I'm not
Maybe
supposed
someone
to,
was
like-
pregnant near you,
All
and
right,
they were
I'm
looking
not-
out for that person.
it's like you can't really argue it too much. Like if it's somewhere you can smoke,
No.
then I'd be like,
Of
get
course.
the hell out
Yeah.
of here. But
Yeah.
I turned off my cigarette. I wasn't gonna
On his
go
face.
it was badass.
Who said it was a he?
On her face.
Anyway,
excellent.
yeah. So and then, do you think it would have happened if I was smoking weed?
Good point. Excellent point.
Probably
I
not.
wonder.
Probably not.
I feel
Probably
people
not.
are much
Probably
more
not.
tolerable of
Oh
smoking
yeah.
weed.
Oh no,
where you're-
weed's the new thing.
where
It's
you're not
everything.
supposed to.
Oh, CBD, and it's going to cure cancer, and smoke it all you want. Just don't light up a cigarette.
All
All right.
right.
It's all some conspiracy from fucking fast food places. They're just like, no, man, just get high. It's all right.
Actually, there's some new
Cigarettes,
legislation. They're going to start planting hemp again.
I saw that.
It's
I
gonna
read
be a
about
thing,
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hemp is good. Hemp. In the 1940s, it was a big campaign: plant hemp to win the war, because the hemp ropes on the warships didn't rot. It was before nylon ropes. They used to have like, I don't know, cotton ropes or some other type of rope,
fabric, yeah.
and it didn't stand up like the hemp rope, and hemp oil and hemp paper and all this stuff. Hence the old term "smoking rope." Did you guys ever hear that one?
Oh no.
No,
What do you-
that's
what do you
your
smoke?
It makes
generation.
sense.
I'm not that old, baby. And there was an old saying, "What are you smoking rope?" And it was because
I didn't
rope
know
is made out
that.
of hemp. Oh, the best warship ropes in the
And
night.
what are I forget because I did read about this. What are they saying the hemp is going to be used for? They mentioned like one thing in particular that this is what they wanted.
They're going
was it?
to, well,
I don't know.
you want to
think
get
it's
really
one thing for
conspiratorial? Is Randolph Hearst, who was a big newspaper printer.
Yeah.
Am I right here?
Yeah, I
Back
remember
me
reading
up,
that,
bro,
yeah.
because they're going to call us,
He tried
the
to
C
fight it
word.
because he saw competition. He just like kind of.
Well,
had to
he
plug-
owned
Yeah.
cotton interests, and he wanted to print his paper with cotton
Hemp.
and other. And I may be wrong about the cotton, but
There's like some paper distributor, some
exactly.
guy that had his like
the
money in
plant that
paper.
he was printing his paper with was not hemp, whereas hemp paper is just as good, even better, and that's why they said no.
Okay, wait.
We're getting off topic here.
Bring it back. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Bring it back to the
But
smoking
yeah,
at Los Rosas.
I don't think anyone would have said anything if it was weed. They probably would have asked you for some.
That's right.
Or, I mean, they would have told you, like, hey, go somewhere else, like, out of my line of sight. You're bothering me, which you have a right to do.
Of
in
course,
this
no.
venue.
In that sense,
It is
He's still dorky.
bordering on dickishness.
yeah.
Absolutely.
The person is still dorky, if that's the
Yeah,
question.
no, that
I
person,
mean,
it's...
No, but we've produced a generation or two of people who want to go up and tell you, "Oh, this offends me." Wait a minute. Get the hell out of my life here. I'm trying to enjoy a metal set here.
Smoke up a cig.
Let's smoke a cigarette, all
Trying to
right?
hear someone talking about, like, killing millions and millions of people in their song, but,
Yeah.
dude, that cigarette's
Right
a bad
on.
match.
I thought that I would get more blowback on this, but I guess everybody's in agreement.
Yes.
That's funny.
I'd love to blow back.
And I don't
you know,
even, and I don't even smoke, and I'm in agreement that this person's dorky.
I bet our audience doesn't. Well, our audience.
Our audience.
I bet that we...
Anyway, you guys do anything this weekend? I went to INC.
I did so much.
Do you want to talk about any of it?
Sure. I don't even. I remember like half of it. And I'm joking. I'm not that crazy. I did go to bed early most days, but I went. I saw a lot of music. We did the same thing all weekend. What did we do? What did we do Thursday?
We went to INC.
We went to INC. We went to a lecture.
So wait.
Yes.
INC, International Noise Conference, which
At
I talked about it
Churchill's.
last show, and I was really excited.
Was it noisy?
Yes, actually.
Actually, that's an interesting topic.
So this is my one complaint about INC this year.
It was quiet.
It wasn't noisy enough. There was too many bands playing their regular sets. There was a section in the back that was only playing. It was a DJ playing regular music. I mean, there were songs. It wasn't noise, you know. And that kind of it got at me because I was there for just noise and
Oh, you wanted
They
to
didn't
hear the
deliver.
noise that's not like rhythmic or musical.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
like
artsy.
experimental sound.
Yeah,
but they
exactly.
were
Yeah.
twin.
Yeah.
And so when you get these when you get these bands playing their normal songs, you're just like, what are you doing? Well, there was one point, and I was real hopped up, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna...
You were hopped up? What does that mean?
Well, just
I know.
So the sets, I waited kind of by the band to finish their set so I could go up to the mic and be like, this isn't noise.
You didn't do that. Did you do that?
No, because I got too antsy and I couldn't wait for them to finish.
It seemed like a good idea in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, dude.
It seemed like a real good idea. Somebody's got to tell these people.
It's like, if I can't smoke a cigarette, I'm going to tell these fuckers to play some noise.
Yeah.
You know, you're excellent, because I was going to try and tie that together here.
That's Art's favorite move, yes.
Exactly. This isn't noisy. That better be noisier. Wait a minute. I'm smoking a cigarette here.
But dude, at church, on the other side of things, I come home smelling like a motherfucking ashtray, and I don't even take my clothes into my room. I leave my clothes either on the balcony or in the second bathroom that I don't use to deal with it the next day. And my hair has to go like up in a bun and like in a thing to put it on the pillow. It is so disgusting. And so I'll say this. Thursday night we were there. I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I don't give a shit if it's dirty. It's whatever. It's part of the vibe.
The Churchills.
Yeah. Friday.
How did that go?
Well, I was fine because I was, feeling it on Thursday. Guys, I went Friday and I was not drinking as much. I needed to go to the bathroom and I almost died. I was like, where do I put my beer? And I balanced my beer on the corner of the sink.
I wouldn't touch that door handle.
I did, guys. I didn't
burn it down.
Well, I didn't wash my hands. I'll tell you that much because my situation was cleaner than the freaking bathroom. But it was funny how over one day had passed and my opinion of the bathroom was just like completely changed.
I was talking with DJ Suicide, and I said, "Hey," we were talking about Churchill's. And I said, "Man, have you ever seen that bathroom?" And he goes, "Oh, that's part of the vibe.
It's part of the vibe."
Yeah,
it's like a badge of honor. Oh yeah, I went in that bathroom.
So now they have a stall. I don't know.
Oh, I wasn't going to talk about that, but since you're bringing it up,
there's a stall now that they just got rid of the toilet, and it's just a stall, so you can go into the stall,
hang out,
and
in groups,
and don't take up time for the people who actually want to use the bathroom.
Nice.
And it has one of those like.
Appreciate that.
Right?
It's actually no, yeah, I agree. It's good. It's realistic.
There's so many times when I'm out, whether I'm DJing or whether I'm just out enjoying the night. Especially with the type of music that I work with, the crowd, like the more late night, late house, dance music, you're going to see lots of drug use. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
And there's always a time when you see this huge line in the bathroom, and it's just 8 guys waiting to use the one stall, and none of them are going to the actual bathroom.
And then you see like 3 guys come out, and you're like,
see 3 pairs of feet, and you're just like, dude, this is Miami. You don't have to be like going to the bathroom and being like hidden every second. Like I've seen people do blow on like a bar, like
on
the sink,
on the actual bar of a venue.
Oh shit!
Like, dude, like if you're quick and sneaky about it, people don't notice. People
don't
aren't
give a
paying
shit.
attention.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, the dorky guy that said you shouldn't smoke cigarettes might be upset. But
he was probably doing the blow on the bar later.
It's like, this isn't that bad for my health, but that guy, like, fuck that guy. I'm gonna tell him something.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. You just people.
So yeah, that's stall though, and it's funny because the way that the door swings, it's really interesting. It's like one of those old like cowboy doors.
Yeah.
Oh, saloon.
Saloon doors. Thank you. Yeah. So it's interesting.
Complicating a simple
Yes.
door. It's like, okay, now what do I go? One, someone's coming out. This is complicated.
Yes. Well, of noise, I have to give a little shout out to that guy Diego. What's his last name?
Mal. God.
He's a guitarist. I think he's really young.
Sorry.
He's a guitarist. He's really young. And he had these...
Melvar?
Yeah. Diego Melvar? We've seen him play before. He's played with our friend Arturo, who we love and we talk about on the show a lot, I feel like.
Their set. After they played, I looked at Ralph and I was like, I'm ready to go home. Like this was it for me, and
can't get better.
It can't get better. And it's so rare that you hear a set like that you're just like walking on clouds leaving there. But he nailed it. He had friends, or not friends, I don't know how he knows these people, but he had some guys in from like Denmark, Finland, and somewhere else. And they spent the week together. So the kid starts the set by saying, we're going to play some stuff. It's basically, a response to the week we spent here in Miami together. And I was like, why did he just say that? That's a little nerdy. But no, now I get it. Because it was just like,
5 guitars, 1 drummer. I'm not sure if there was a bass. And
a thumb piano with a little ding ding dings.
oh, that's right.
A guy on a flute.
A metal flute.
But they all played different. They were all playing different things on their guitars, so it was just this
Crazy
cacophony
polyrhythm.
of noise.
No, but the Danish and Finnish and whatever guy, Norwegian guy.
And they started talking.
They start speaking in different languages. They're saying like "Welcome to Miami." I guess "Welcome to Finland" in Finnish. I don't know. Is that what they speak? But it's so ignorant with that. They're all Scandinavian kind of looking. Yes, but the thing is that because you didn't know the language, the language became the sound. Because they were repeating it over and over and over. So like you understood the "Welcome to Miami," "Bienvenidos a Miami," whatever. But the sound became, or the language became the sound in this beautiful way. And then they just go back into like the flute and the kachimba, what is it?
Kalimba, I think.
Kalimba, the thumb little thing, and whatever else they were playing. It was,
Sick.
if you were
It was a
there,
sick
you know.
set. It was because a lot of people use like synths and stuff like that. So, and then when the bands come on, a lot of them play just regular songs. And for these guys to go with all guitars and do this crazy set, I'm not going to repeat all the stuff about noise that I said last time, but it was just a great noise show.
Yeah.
I mean, you got what you wanted. No, you got some noise.
Yes, I got.
After that, you were satisfied.
That's like it. It ties into 3 points because I feel like there's always so many times in festivals that you do see so many artists and bands and like everything within the realm of music that you'll see at like 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
You will always find yourself being disappointed by X
and
being surprised by X. And I think because it was like the noise conference.
Is X a band?
You can
Axe.
Axe.
Oh, X.
Not like the body spray.
I thought he said X.
No, I talk funny.
Gotcha.
We got it. Don't worry.
My
That's funny.
apologies.
It's art. That's funny.
But basically, like you'll see all these people, all these like these artists, these acts,
Yeah.
and you'll be disappointed, and you'll be like surprised by some.
Yeah.
And it honestly boils down to just kind of what you wanted a little bit from the experience.
Yeah.
To like what you react from it. So say you go to 3 points on Friday and you wanted to go see artist X, and you're like, all right.
Got that one.
I like the artist, but I didn't think it was the greatest show. Like it happens. Like,
Man, that happens all the
But
time.
there's times when you see somebody and you're just like, they make you stop in your tracks and you're just kind of like, you
What
almost
is
don't
this?
even dance. You can't even react to it. You're just like, wow, like this is great. Like when it makes you like look, what's the schedule? Who is this? Who's playing? Like that experience.
Hell yeah.
That's what you want a festival for.
Yeah,
That's
I guess
one thing
that's.
that,
Can I throw in a story? I'll do it quick. I once went to see Cut Copy at Grand Central. And Grand Central, you remember, the show started really late. So there were like 2 bands opening up for
Rest
them,
in peace,
whatever.
Grand Central.
Rest in peace, Grand Central, exactly. But I was waiting for Cut Copy, A band comes on. It's like the second act or the third. And I'm like, woo. And I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't really know their music too much, but I was like, Cut Copy. It has to be, that's the thing. It's the cool thing. I have to watch it. I jammed out so hard. And at the end, I was like, woof, I'm ready to go home. And then they're like, next up, Cut Copy. And I was like, what did I just see? It was washed out. And it was 20 times better than Cut Copy. I stayed. And I was like, screw this. Washed out was so good.
I mean, that's
Even though I thought there was someone else.
it reflects on like the artist and the mindset. Just
Yeah.
because we've booked artists and we've dealt with big shows and all these things, and you always find bands and artists that they're very happy to be playing there and like they will put on a good show, but you can just kind of tell that it's not everything they could give. Like it's just another night in the tour.
Yeah,
They're coming from another city. They flew in. They have to fly out to another city tomorrow and play probably a similar set because they don't really have the time or the mental capacity to kind of reset and do something completely new for
Sure.
every different city. And these are tours that go on for months. Like this is,
But that's
tours
got to
are
be hard.
easy.
That's got to be hard.
Yeah, that takes a toll on
It's got to be
you.
hard to make it unique. Hello, Cleveland.
like it can be brutal. And like you'll pick some people up from the airport and you just see it on their face. They're exhausted from the night before and
For
they have
sure.
to play that night. And yeah, you're not always too surprised when they're not incredible, blowing you
Well,
away.
Diego blew
Because-
me away.
But so when
He's
that
also
happens,
really.
it's
I also love that. I mean, he's so young, and I guess that's when it happens. Also, when you see people that you're not expecting, whatever, and then they blow you away. A lot of the time, they're young and starting out, and then you're like, oh wow, this guy is
exactly
something.
like they give everything every
Yeah.
performance, and it's not to say like a lot of people won't or don't. It's just
different.
it's the vibe. I mean, I've played DJ sets to like 10 people. And had one of the best times of my life, and like had a blast because like the vibe is and the energy is right.
Was one of them at Arturo's house, old house? Because I had the best time once, and there was like 5 of us, and I was dancing.
Maybe, probably. I mean, I love.
I had the best time. That's a no. That's a no, and he doesn't even remember
No, I
me being at the party.
That was like
I had
the beer party.
Yes, the beer party.
The later.
The Lederhosen party. So you remember?
Yeah.
Nice save.
Yes.
But that's like
I hope it's real.
that's different to me because
Yeah.
that's like at a house. Like I don't
I had
like,
the best time.
I'm not there performing for somebody. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to get people into what I'm doing because I'm trying to provide. Like
Yeah.
they have to be reasonable. Like I'm not some huge superstar. So whenever
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
whenever I'm DJing at a club, you have to recognize that most people aren't there to see me.
Oh.
They're there for the venue, they're there for the night. So you have to know that it's not going to be just some crowd that's like, "Oh my god, it's Santi. Whatever he does is going to be great." It's pretty much I have to convince everyone to start moving, to start dancing, to
Yeah.
get into it.
So what does it take to take it to that next, like, become a personality level? I guess the party has Slap and Tickle has a following, and that's you.
Yeah, and like it's very reflective of like my sound, my partner Pirate Stereo's sound. Excuse me, and it allows you to kind of be a little more loose with your stylings. Like if I'm playing a slap party, I'm going to be a little loose because it's my event. But if I'm booked to play a club, I want to make the club the best that it possibly
Yeah.
can be. So
It's part of the job.
exactly.
Isn't it?
So it's always like I always think about it as a fork in the road. Every selection of a track is just like, do they like this? No. Okay, let's go with something a little different, a little houseier, a little more disco, a little more vocal. Like you kind of weave your way through a bunch of music until you kind of, if you're lucky enough, you plug into them. Like you lock in and you're like, okay, so whatever I want to do now, they're into.
You got to surf the mood of the night.
You get the energy, and you kind of, it becomes, there reaches a point where what you're choosing to play next, you don't even have to think about it. You just kind of know it. You're like, ooh, this track, yeah, that'll kill right now. And you just go for that. Where other times you're kind of trying to build to it, where you're trying to get the energy from the room, and this is over the course of a couple hours, so there's time to do it. So I can't imagine what it's like for like a band when you're playing for 45 minutes at any venue, and then you have to like break down. The next band's got to go on.
Yeah.
You're trying to get the energy. Like that's got to be. It's really difficult.
And it's a build up to
'Cause
that point.
That's where you get your energy from. You get all the vibe from like the people that you're playing to. If you're doing a good job, you'll be really energetic. You'll having a blast. But there's nights when you're just not locking in necessarily to the extent that you would want, and you just feel like almost like you're just. I don't know, like
just
throwing darts at a dartboard and none of them are sticking.
Oh,
like,
man.
It's just kind of like
that
it's brutal,
hurts,
and you're
man.
just like,
It
but
hurts.
it happens, and
Yeah, of course.
it's part
It's
of the
part of the
game.
thing.
Like,
I know.
What are the qualities of a song or a beat that's a transitional one, where you're at that fork in the road and you're like, I'm not really sure still yet where this crowd's at. What do I play? What do I go for?
Usually it's like from the very beginning I play a track that, you kind of look at the room, you're there for a little bit before, and all right, so they kind of like this, say, like disco vibe. So I'm going to start out with a song that has that kind of vibe. Nice little bass line, good beat, maybe like a nice little piano, something that you can react to and like hear. Sounds silly, but usually you'll always just be trying to kind of, it's like the throwing darts at the board. You kind of throw one and you're like, all right, well, that was a super disco one. That one really didn't work that well, but they like that vibe. They probably want something a little like houseier, a little upbeat. Like, basically, it's not necessarily so much the qualities of the song, but the energy that it imparts.
Right on.
And it's always shifting. A track that worked 5 minutes ago won't work in the next 5 minutes. Like, once you've passed that kind of vibe and you've built the crowd to another level, it's very hard to go back and execute that kind of movement well.
Yeah.
In the sense that you don't find yourself kind of like bringing the energy way up and then like bringing it way down. Like way up, it's like you always kind of see it as like a slope where you're like walking up the hill, like you're building up the energy a little bit.
Cool.
have the DJ set go somewhere.
Yeah.
Not just be like, oh, look, this is just
This
an
is
hour of
good,
house
good.
music.
Yeah.
So I talked one time with DJ Suicide, and he told me that one of the deals they like to do is you got to build the crowd up, get them to a crescendo, like a climax, and then you got to pull them down. All right, even it out, mellow it out. Let's go take a lake and get them a drink.
Go to the
And then,
stall.
start to build it up again. Oh, that's my jam,
That's
get back and boom, 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 take it to the next level, bam.
That's very true. You'll always have those tracks that, it's not necessarily like they're all like you're going from 0 and you're ending at 100, but it's kind of like you're always on that slope, even though like you bring it down and you play a track and it's exactly that. You have people that are like, you play a track and you see people go to the bar and go to the bathroom and do their things, and then you play the next track and like it's a similar vibe but maybe a little more energetic, and that you see them get right back into it. Like that little mental kind of disconnect for a second from the dance floor is very important, because it lets you kind of
take a break
sense of where you are.
Yeah, and like
It's very tidal.
recompose.
It's like a tide, It's a disco tide, shall we say.
Tide comes in, tide comes out. You can't explain it.
Yeah.
All right, on that note, let's move on. We'll come back to 3 points and all that stuff a little later, but we're going to move on to something that's happening in Miami right now. It started maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's been brewing for a long time. And it is this this project that they're doing in downtown, the I-395 and the 836. So let me explain this to you guys. So when you're going from the airport to Miami Beach, or from the airport to Fort Lauderdale, let's say, if you're taking the 836, you're going east. They decided that there was too much of a mess there when people are trying to go to either Miami Beach or north, that they are going to spend $800 million.
Which I don't think we have.
Yeah, well, it's the Florida Department of Transport who pays for this stuff. It's like a Florida project.
Yeah,
but
state's going to chip in.
Yeah, so they decide that they're going to redo this whole stretch there. They're going to put this big suspension bridge, a bridge over land. It doesn't go over water. This is a bridge over land.
Purely decorative.
Yeah.
Have you seen the designs for it?
Yeah.
That spider-looking thing.
So they're going to put that in. They're going to make the 836 part that goes over the Miami River is going to be double-decker. So there's going to, if you're going to Miami Beach, I think you go over the top, and if you're going to Fort Lauderdale or going north, you go down on the bottom. And so it's going to be this double-decker thing. The overpasses are going to be raised way higher. So when you're driving through downtown and you go under, it's going to be it's going to be way higher up. And then underneath, they have these plans for these parks and all this stuff that looks really nice in the project. You know what I mean?
Heard it all before.
Yeah. We're going to put a dog park, and we're going to do this stuff, and everybody's going to want to go there. I don't know why anybody would want to hang out under an overpass. But they've decided that is going to happen.
In the middle of a crazy intersection? Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
No.
And so, okay, I understand why one of the reasons they want to do it is to connect the north part of downtown to the south part of downtown. So where it splits right now because of the 395, how it is, people argue that whole Omni area is kind of cut off because the highway's there and it's so low, and it's like
that's the vibe.
I don't know. Okay, so that's one of their arguments.
My question with this is, how long ago did the whole Palmetto overpass start? Do you remember that?
Which
the one that they're building, like the 826 and the 836, like west of the airport?
Oh yeah, I mean
that was supposed to be finished like 8 years ago.
Oh no, of course. This is the funniest part about this project. It looks much bigger. I mean, you're going to do a double-decker highway. You're going to put this huge bridge in, and they're saying it's going to be done in 4 years, and at $800 million, which is for sure it's going to go over budget.
So now we know who's doing the drugs in the clubs.
So
excellent. Crazy.
One of the things I wanted to talk about, apart from it being a weird project, like why would they, like who is benefiting from this project getting done as opposed to investing that money in different types of transport?
Not me, that actually works a lot around there and gets at all. I don't know. There's so many other places in the city that I feel like have problems. and that's not one of them. Like
Right?
I mean,
Of traffic?
of traffic, like that's not one of them, and to access it almost, I don't know, 3-4 times a week. So I don't know why.
So the other big thing they're doing is the exit to downtown, if you're going east, is moving from Northeast 2nd, where it is right now. So think about it. If you want to go to like the museum, if you want to go to the museum or any of that when you're going east, it goes into Northeast 2nd, and you're kind of behind all these buildings and whatever. They're moving that to North Miami Ave.
Again, I've never had traffic
So wait,
getting to on Northeast 2nd.
They're moving it further west.
Yeah, so the exit
yeah.
will be on North Miami Ave.
2 blocks west.
Right where the corner is and 11.
Yeah.
You are going to get dumped there.
He's been fighting that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yes.
know.
The owner has been fighting that.
of the
North
corner.
Miami
We should have
Avenue
had
Preservation
him here
Association.
tonight.
I mentioned to Rafa that we need to have
I
him on
like
here to
him.
talk about
I
those
like him a
projects.
lot.
He's
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's a very cool dude. He's quirky. He's smart. He'd probably suck up all the oxygen in the room talking about this because he's passionate about it.
Yeah, you
But
want
I remember this
You want
started with
passion.
him.
year, man, like 2012,
5, 6,
like
7, 8
2013.
years ago, and it was all about. And it's when an artist who was there, George something.
I wonder if this all goes back to what you were saying.
George
Sanchez.
Sanchez Calderon, because he used to
They-
own a studio and they bought him out to
Bought him out. They eminent domained him.
That's right.
So I wonder if this all goes back to what you were saying of the World Center and building I don't know, a whole infrastructure thing around that project.
They want a high-rise casino where
which
the
of-
old Herald building used to be.
Yeah.
They did.
And there's
they
a
proposed
major
it.
money behind it.
Didn't that already not pass or
Oh,
no?
it didn't pass, and it won't pass
Yeah.
in the next one, and it won't pass in the next one.
But it might
But
in the
they've
future.
already laid the plumbing for it. It's a fait accompli, which is a French word, I think, for they're planning it.
Thanks, Art. Appreciate it.
But
So I wonder if this whole thing got like fast tracked. I mean, not fast tracked because it didn't get fast tracked, but to dump. I don't know.
It did-
They're gonna wreck North Miami Ave. They're gonna wreck.
Yeah, duh.
The corner is gonna be over.
no, it won't. The corner, I think, is going to stay.
Really?
But everything else around it is going to go up.
I hope so because I love the
That's
corner.
World Center or whatever.
But that's,
No, the Miami World Center, as some people we know, they
Yes.
tried to buy them out.
I know that.
And they stood
And
out
they
of it,
sa-
and they drew them out of the plans.
So much so that the plans on YouTube or whatever, everything, all the buildings go up around that location and the
They won't be
building
able
of the
to-
corner.
They won't be able to do what they thought they were going to do.
But if you're spitting out the highway there, guys, that changes. But it was supposed to be a two-way street when they first proposed spitting out the highway there. At least they're not doing that anymore.
Oh, it's switching Miami Avenue to
It's a two-way. That used to be the plan, but now it's
That'll
not
take all
anymore.
the parking off North Miami away too.
So I think
Oh, for
I
sure.
think what they do is it dumps on 14th. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
actually like a block north of where it is now, like where the highway goes now, and
Yeah.
14th is right where it.
Where it starts.
Where it kinda
split?
switches.
No,
14th?
it's south of where it's split.
You're right. It is. It is.
14th
still
is a
south.
very interesting street.
20th is.
Yeah,
where
it
splits.
Have you
is.
ever driven 14th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I've
It
done it.
goes both ways.
Yeah, it does.
It goes all the way, and it traverses the highway.
I know,
and
14th
there's that
is-
hill, and you see some very interesting things
Yeah.
on 14th Street. But it goes all the way
sure.
to
Oh,
the
what
more
kind
at,
of like sweet potatoes, or what do you see out there?
there's some sweet potatoes.
You know, my question, what is that building on 14th and North Miami Ave that they've painted numerous times as old
Gas
architecture?
station?
No, not Tomorrowland looking thing. Across the street from that on the east side of 14th Street.
I know which one you're talking about.
On the
What is
Yes,
that?
I know
it's
exactly
never,
what-
I've been around that area for a
Next-
very long time. I've never seen anything.
Next to where
gotta be
Vagabond used to
historical.
be.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a historical building. I don't know what it was. Well,
That's where it's going to spit out.
here's and I'm gonna do my very best
Yes.
to save some oxygen for you guys. In the 1960s, Eisenhower came up with the interstate highway plan, right?
Yeah.
Well, I-95, and then eventually the 395 and the 836 split through Overtown. Overtown was a vibrant black community. The jazz clubs were there. Miles Davis, Art Blakey, they all played there because when Miami Beach was segregated, the Fontainebleau and the Eden Rock wanted the talent to have their jazz bands be the top-notch stuff, but by law, they had to be blacks had to be off the beach by like 11 or something. And my dad's era, him and my uncle used to go to listen to jazz, and they knew that the best spots were in Overtown after 11 o'clock because that's where it went down. All the guys who left their gigs on Miami Beach in the swanky wearing the tuxedos would undo the ties and get down until 4 and 5 in the morning in Overtown. And that was their version of, what is it, the corner and Will Call, and I don't know. And it goes on till 5 a.m. So when the interstate highway system came in the 1960s and they bulldozed I-95 through that. When we drive I-95 and that 836, it's completely where Overtown used to be.
Yeah.
It completely screwed.
Where it is still is, but it's just, yeah, exactly.
And that is actually part of what this plan is and this whole new renovation. They want to undo what was done in the 1960s by these raised parks. They want to bring back some sort of like blood flow, you know.
But you think it's because they want to gentrify Overtown? Is that like the idea? So
that'll be the eventual.
Yeah, right.
In my opinion, living in Miami, born and raised, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's what happens. But
I don't know if that's like. Well, maybe. Yeah.
No, but what's?
I mean, in a way, it's already changed so much.
There's no going back to the old Miami.
Yeah.
Miami Beach, when I was a kid, was old Jews.
Yeah, well, that's not coming back.
Yeah, no, and old Art Deco hotels.
There's a movie coming out, I think, like this week about the old Jewish community in Miami Beach in like the 70s and whatever. What is it called? The Last Resort or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's coming. It comes out this week. I'll look it up, but it's about Miami Beach and it looks pretty great.
But yeah, so this bridge that they want to do is going to like. In a sense, they're hoping remedy that by taking these overpasses and on-ramps, which are built-up structures which
divide
and dissect the community. They want to put just pilings and have the highway go over it, and they're going to have these lighted parks. Are you going to come hang out with me in a park in Overtown?
Why does it need to be a Louise Bourgeois looking spider thing though? That's purely aesthetic. That's like McDonald's art.
That's different. That's the like downtown. That's the Biscayne kind of. That's over Biscayne.
Yeah.
This is more like.
But it's part of it.
Memorial. Yeah, I get the traffic part when it comes to 95 because I drive around the city a lot and that part's always back
to go up north. That I agree, but not the downtown part.
Is always screwed.
Yeah, that's screwed.
There's no reason, really. I mean, if they have one, I would love to know it because it would just to glimpse their minds to build a giant statue, kind of wannabe Tobin Bridge like the Boston one. In Miami, next to like these towers, we got a Zaha Hadid building. Wait, let's get this new thing up. It'll be bigger and better. Why? Because it'll look good.
Yeah, of course. For the world center that's coming around it.
For the prestige of Miami, and you're just like, you really can't find any other thing that's more important to put that money into. Now, we definitely shouldn't be paying teachers. We definitely shouldn't be worried about public health.
Right on.
There's so many more things to be worried about. That's a lot of money for a statue.
And even if it went
just that.
Imagine that money's allocated just straight to transport, because that a lot of times these things are, right? Like it's like you got to spend this money on transport or whatever.
Budget,
I read
but there's so many. There's people have been. I mean, I'm not gonna get into
train to Miami Beach.
But yes,
I read about that this week.
Trains to Miami Beach, things like that, and they just keep ignoring them for these big vanity projects.
No, they're not ignoring them. City of Miami Beach, for over a decade or 2 decades, does not want people going to Miami Beach for $2 on a Metro Rail.
I know,
because the kind of people. They want valet people, right? They don't want, because for years I used to say, and I used to ride that train a bunch in my old Miami Art Museum days. And if you stand at Government Center, there's a certain section on the track where you look down, you see the first set of tracks that run east-west, and they line up with Miami Beach, and they head west to FIU. Imagine if we had a track that went FIU to Miami Beach, and that is a small dream. That's a small wish list. Think of like New York, or Paris, or London. That's got a real system. We're Bush League. We're not even Bush League. We're like AAA.
I spent 9 years in Boston, and when I first got there, they were kind of already midway through the Big Dig project. Big Dig, basically, they took all of these overground highways and they decided to bury them in tunnels under the city. Gigantic infrastructure, like $13 billion, like something crazy. And everyone, while it was happening, was kind of like, all right, this is crazy. The city already has some transport. When it was finished, it was like night and day. It was incredible. There was no more highway traffic above the city. The subway, everything was running great. You had all these parks. That's what you can do when you already have all of these things in place. When you have a great public transit, when you have like a subway or some sort of train system
and vision
already in
too.
place, you can kind of get away with being like, okay, we're going to do this crazy project. It's going to completely destroy the city traffic-wise for 10 years. But when it's done, we're going to be...
It's going to change the city, yeah.
Miami, I mean, when was the last time you took a train here in Miami?
Oh, man.
I used to take them regularly for many years, but the last time is...
And you would drive to the station like...
Yeah, in high school, I drove I got dropped off at the station.
I took 2 buses and get to the train.
And it took forever.
And there were what, 3 lines back then?
No, it took forever.
But not just like, it was like, what, there was the one that goes by US 1.
Yeah, the Metro
that's the one I used
that goes 13 miles, and I would pick it up after a bus at Dadeland North, and I'd get off at Government Center to work in downtown, and I was happy about it. The cool thing was, I got a lot of reading done. I met my neighbors and would talk with them, and I would ride with the same people.
But that's before cell phones.
It was super cool. That's another topic. How cell phones have changed
the way we communicate with people,
culture,
subway life,
mass transportation culture.
So
Before that, in New York, I'd go up and strike up a conversation. I visit my mom there all the time. Before cell phones, you'd go to New York and you'd sit on the subway and strike up a conversation with the guy, sitting next to you on waiting for the train. Back in the Miami days, the Metro Rail, I'd go and I'd talk to chicks. I'd talk to
I don't know,
people.
man. I have a Walkman.
Now you can't talk to anybody.
No, you can't talk to anybody.
It's easy to avoid people. It's easier, and I mean...
I'd have a newspaper in those situations. So
I always had a Walkman. Guys, I lived in New York then. I was 13, granted, but I had a Walkman. I didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah, no, it's not necessarily like that, like the phone, like the earphone, like headphone thing. I think it's just generally like it's affected the way
people
think,
yeah.
that people are already closed off to the thought of anyone.
Moving on.
Moving on. We
gotta beat that
the
one.
The bridge sucks. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
The project.
It's gonna fundamentally change downtown.
And it's where we hang.
Beautiful.
It looks beautiful. Get ready.
It's
Downtown
a Sydney Opera House type of thing.
Yes.
That's what it looks like. You're right.
It's going to look good on a postcard.
Right in front of the Adrian Art
It's gonna
Center.
look great on Instagram.
Right in front of the Adrian Art Center.
Double-decker highways.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to San Francisco?
They have those?
In San Francisco, where they got earthquakes. I was with my dad. We were on our way to China, and we had a layover. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to take you." And my dad was in the Air Force, and he was stationed there. He's like, "I'm going to take you to this bar that we used to go to. They'll open up at 9 a.m. and they'll start serving us." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." And we hired a cab. And next thing we know, we're on the highway, and we're on these double-decker highways. There's a highway on top of you. And I'm like, "Don't they have earthquakes here?" And like, "Oh, yeah." I was like,
but they move with the quake.
You know what needs a double-decker highway is US 1. But on that,
yes,
we're just
like
gonna
Mexico City.
Because nobody's thought about that one yet.
The useless one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you about something else that's happening in town. It's actually happening tomorrow.
Oh.
In Miami.
Yeah, in Miami. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow.
In Miami only. Whoop, whoop.
It's Valentine's Day, and Artemis, I know that you are a very romantic guy. And I was wondering if you had any Valentine's tips, or if you have a Valentine's date, or if you have any Valentine's plans.
Man, you're going to get me in trouble. No, I got no plans. I don't celebrate holidays. I don't buy for birthdays or...
Oh, wow. That's
none of that
that's
stuff.
rough.
Yeah. No, I got a good old lady. She's still with me all these years.
Even when you miss her birthday every year? That's not...
I'm telling you, man. Been asking her to marry me for years. She's still holding out for somebody better.
You got to do it on Valentine's Day.
Tomorrow.
Not gonna happen.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Code.
But no, I'm the wrong guy to ask. I think Valentine's Day is a Hallmark holiday. And
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And I don't go for that stuff.
Oh man, I was
Good
hoping,
answer.
I was hoping you could give me some conversation on that. I forgot to get a girlfriend again, so I'm not doing anything for it.
Like just like every year.
I just tell her I don't believe in that stuff, honey. I love you year round. Ace in the hole.
Done.
That's a pro answer right there.
Yeah, I love you year
This guy
round.
dates.
All right. Well, if you guys don't have any dates or any hot spots, I'll move on to the next thing. This one's I had to write this down because I thought it was so. I don't know. I'll tell you right now. Do you guys know who A-Hole Sniffs Glue is?
A-hole.
No,
It's not
but I've
A-hole. It's
seen
A-hole.
I've seen their stickers.
A-Hole. A-Hole.
They've got some great stickers.
It's one guy.
Well,
I've met him.
before the
Did a tour
highway
with him.
system screwed it up with the photo. toll booths.
Don't take us back to highways.
Wait a
Double
minute.
deckers.
When you used to go through the 836 eastbound, there was a toll booth. You guys remember giving the coins to the toll booth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old urinal coin things.
Yes.
Yes, the urinal
There
coin
was
toss.
A-hole Sniffs Glue stickers on this, and that's going back like 10 years ago. And I thought that was the coolest thing. I've seen those stickers everywhere, like the graffiti stickers.
Well, he is the guy who does the eyes. He makes murals with eyes, repeating eyes.
So
all
what's
over.
what's your story with him?
A-Hole Sniffs Glue is going to redesign the counter at Arbetter's Hot Dogs.
Whoa!
Arbetter's on Bird Road.
Yes,
I was wondering why you bring him up. I'm like, dude, it's old news. Like he's been around for a while. Like, what are you trying to say?
I was expecting
he's gotta
something
be
like
old now.
revolutionary.
well,
Revolutionary. He's not though.
He lives on my street. I see him walking.
He's
his
really
dog, like, every
nice.
day. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He
Right
did a favor for me once. He did when I had the Cubans here for Dialogues and Cuban Art. He spent the afternoon with us looking at graffiti in Wynwood and showing them
nice.
around. Yeah, he was really
I
nice.
heard a cool
He was
story
really
that
nice.
the graffiti in Wynwood. I don't know. We used to truck art and stuff around there all the time, and there was always like these model shoots. So we'd all stop the truck because I got like 3 horny dudes in a truck, and we'd see this hot chick wearing nothing in front of like a graffiti wall doing a photo shoot. Urban legend?
see that every
I don't
day.
think so. A-Hole Sniffs Glue. They did a photo shoot. Some big company, and somebody will confirm this for me. They did a photo shoot in front of one of his things with the sleepy eye.
Oh, yes.
American Eagle. Or
Well, he
Urban Outfitters. One of those two.
One of these guys,
think it
and
was
they did a big
American
photo
Eagle.
shoot, and they printed it, and they didn't ask his permission.
He
sued
got a
him with the
good
help of a
amount
lawyer.
of money.
I know, like they said.
And I heard he's bought a Caribbean island or something.
He didn't get that much money, but he did get a big, nice chunk of money. It's a classic it's a classic case study for artist rights, honestly. So
he bought
did
an
good.
island. He's going to do a festival.
No, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm
man,
all
you
for
can't
it.
do that. You can't be.
No, should they do it more? These companies, they got big pockets, and our local
And pay
guys,
the people?
our local guys
Yeah.
with talent. If this is how they're going
Oh.
to get some dough to further their stuff,
Well, look
I'm
what
all
he's
for
doing.
it.
He's partnering now with Arbetters.
There you go. I was going to say, he's got that hot dog money now.
So now he has,
That money's hot.
oh,
You see what I did there?
that was good. That was
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
Good
I
job
don't know.
right
Next
there.
time you go get a hot dog over there, you might see something a little different. I thought it was cool.
I took my,
I think
my
it's
son
good.
there. Yeah, it was.
I
good.
think it is cool.
All right.
Their hot dogs are overpriced, though.
Oh, that's a
they-
that's a
I
bold
had,
thing.
I had the best hot dog at Dogma the other day with you. It was great. We had the
Dogma?
best- I hadn't gone in so long.
Oh my
It
God!
was
$5
good.
hot dogs. Get
It
out of
was
here.
it $5? I don't know, but it was effing good. That's all I know. And I hadn't been there in years.
We went to
Just ate like-
Dogma. It's on Biscayne.
Yeah, I know
and
where it is.
I know you know where it is.
Oh,
I'm telling
sorry.
the
Telling the
listeners.
5
Oh, sorry.
listeners.
So
No,
not
we got
everybody
more than
knows.
that.
It's not a chain. It's
7.
just one place. If these people hang
They
out.
had more
and-
than one at one point.
Oh,
I think they
well,
had Kendall.
Did they?
It's on Biscayne.
You know what?
and
They were
70th or something like
well,
that.
they were banking on that whole Biscayne Mimo.
Yes.
They were banking on that whole area like taking off, and
It
Miami
did take
Modern.
off.
it never did.
Oh,
I
I
know.
feel like it took off a little bit.
No, we used to
You're
service a
right.
gallery up there off 80th.
It's trickling.
Was it 60th or 80th? I
But
can't
maybe
remember.
it's the only place that's been keeping the vibe. Okay?
Nah,
So wait.
the traffic in that area is a nightmare.
Stop. Bring it back to Dogma 1 second.
Back to Dogma.
And hot dogs.
Okay,
We went over there. She had a Chicago-style hot dog.
$10.
No, I don't think it was $10.
It was like $3. I don't remember how much.
The French fries were really good. The brownie was really good that I got right off the thing.
And we were tailgating.
Yeah, I mean, any place that has to pay rent is going to charge you more than $3 for a hot dog.
Of course.
If you want to go get a hot dog at a hot dog cart, then you're going to pay fair
$1.
price. Then you're going to pay fair price for a hot dog. Anywhere else, you're going to pay, more than it's worth.
So I'm paying an extra $1 for it being in me, Mo. I'm paying on top of that. I'm paying an extra $1 because it's got some chairs.
I'll tell you
Another
something.
$1 because it's got parking.
I thought it was
Okay.
delicious, and I was worried that it would have lost the deliciousness because I hadn't been there in like 7 years. But it was still just as good. Dogma.
Listen, it's a lot of hype.
I hope I get a free hot dog.
Listen, I'll say this about them. They were around back in 07,
Yeah.
06.
Yeah.
When we were servicing that gallery back
They
then.
were
The gallery
they were around in like 03.
Yeah.
I took away 3 years.
An old Neil Rogers maxim.
Now.
And no.
Wait, was that out of your mouth? Because that was perfect.
I finally
We're
figured it out.
We're going to have a show on just that, on bringing back Neil's ghost. All right.
No, I only said that because I didn't say it to stop you from talking about it. I said it because when I finally heard Neil Rogers, for the listeners who don't know who he is, he's a guy who's much better at radio than us.
Allegedly.
Hey, this guy.
All right.
Let me explain to the listener, and we're getting sidetracked here, but whatever.
The whole show.
His show is this. It's him and maybe his producer on the side.
George Fernandez.
There you go. And he is
I
ranting.
met him at a strip bar one night.
He might rant for 4 hours, okay? 4 hours just ranting on the radio, and then he uses a soundboard to answer rhetorical questions about whatever he's asking. And then he takes callers, too, and then if they're not quick enough, he really shits on them. But he will... So he'll start talking about something. So if we hate this highway thing, he'll be like, "Oh, this highway," and like, "Oh, these people." So why would he'd say something like, "Oh man, I can't even think of it right now."
Spot, right?
Yeah, I'm on the spot. I'm like,
We're all looking at you.
yeah, right. It's like, yeah. Okay, so he would.
Out of your fucking mind!
So those
Sorry.
are straight dumps from Neil Rogers.
There's an app.
No, those are my own.
Okay.
You don't recognize the voices.
So he asks a rhetorical
doesn't know.
question like, who are these people? No, he'll say something. That's
Boo!
not a good one.
Boo!
You're not too rhetorical, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who are these people? And then he'll get a sound clip that says, "I don't know," or he'll say like,
Would anybody ever do that?
"Yeah, well, I don't know."
Next.
Anyway, that's
Next.
Insert rhetorical
Jesus,
question.
we're all
here.
over the place. That's Neil Rogers. Let's get to 3 points.
That's Neil Rogers. 3 points. Yes.
3
I
points.
think we covered that well.
Wait, we
Yeah.
finished about Dogma.
Yes, I think we finished. If you want a good hot dog, go to Arbetter's to see A-Hole, or go to Dogma.
And take a selfie at the
They're in
counter.
different. They're in different. They're like polar opposites in the county. So if you're in that part of the county, you go to Arbetter's, and
Take
if
the
you're in
bridge.
the other, go
Just
to
take
Dogma.
that overpass.
Yeah.
You'll get there right
Take
away.
the
What Neil used to
I-395.
say
Take the
was,
overpass.
Can you smoke in there?
if a company does,
Probably.
if a company's been around like 10 years in Miami, like restaurants in Miami have a notorious history of going belly up in their first 3
Yes.
years. And if one makes it 5 years, well, they're doing something semi-right. Dogma's been around. Man, we were working there in 07, and they were a thing. So that's 12 years, at least.
Fancy restaurant.
It's going. So go check it out. And Arbetter's been there forever too.
Arbetter's been there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, their counter's new, though.
They'll give him another 20.
All right, this weekend, what I will call the premier music festival for Miami is happening. It's called 3 Points. If you've never heard of it,
Never heard of it.
You have
Oh,
now.
You're
well,
living under a rock.
I'll tell you all about it. It's a music festival in Wynwood at the Mana Contemporary warehouse spaces that they have over there. they attract all types of acts. I would say, no, I'm not even going to characterize it. Electronic, rock, hip-hop, all of it's there. Our very special guest here, DJ Santi Caballero, is going to be playing a set at the...
That's right. I remember.
When's your set, man?
I play Sunday. I'm opening up the pickle stage.
Ooh.
All right.
So I'll be playing, I think it's 5 to 6:30.
Cool.
Nice and easy. It should be
Nice.
fun.
All
Nice.
right, on Sunday. So you got the... Yeah, you got the closing kind of thing.
That's cool.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's nice. I've played it now, I think, 4 years in a row.
How many years has it been? 5?
I think this is the 5th year.
Yeah.
So let me tell you some of these headliners. We've got Tyler the Creator, Herbie Hancock, James Blake.
Chris the
The
Destroyer.
Herbie Hancock?
Yeah, the Herbie Hancock.
No.
Yeah, so that's why I sent you the lists so that you could look at the songs.
But then we
whatever.
wouldn't have this piece of radio gold in front of us right now.
And laughing at. All right.
Erykah Badu, Blood Orange, A$AP Rocky, Raekwon and Ghostface Killah.
But these are all the big acts.
These are the headliners. I'm trying to say
Part
the
of the point is the local, no?
Is it like, yeah, I was going to ask, is it like Art Basel where the locals get a venue?
So yes, they are big on the locals, and that's what makes this festival very Miami. Is that number one, it happens in a very urban spot, so it doesn't take place in a field or any of that stuff. It takes place in a parking lot to a certain extent, and inside warehouses. So that kind
Where
of
Pinta is.
yeah, exactly where Pinta is. Exactly.
Do they have parking?
No, they don't.
That was a joke. If I have to
Ultra.
explain
Ultra.
it. I'm sorry.
Damn. Ultra.
Anyway, so it just feels very Miami in the way that when you get in there, it just doesn't. It's not your typical,
And because of the people who organized it.
and it's
That's
not like
another
hippies
thing.
there and stuff
think-
like that either.
I think in a funny sense, it's almost like you said. It's very Miami. It's very reflective of Miami, but I think part of its charm and appeal is that it's not very
Right.
like Miami in that sense, because it doesn't necessarily reflect. I don't think Ultra is in any way reflective of what Miami is, but I feel that if someone sees Ultra, they're like, "Oh, that's very
very Miami."
Like, That's the external perception. Like, you get this idea that it's all like nightclubs and parties and bikinis and like, it's that kind of like
Influenced.
glitz and glamour. It's what they try to sell as the image of Miami. But if you actually see like the real Miami, quote unquote, the more local side of it, 3 Points does an incredible job of capturing it, because it captures such a range of the artists that we have here in Miami. And I mean, even just looking at the headliners, like,
Yeah.
I remember I asked some people, like, do you know who Herbie Hancock is? And there'd be a lot of people that, the younger generation, they'd say, no, I don't really know who he is, or I've heard of him, or my dad's heard of him, or something like that. This is a rare opportunity for a lot of people to get to see someone as legendary as Herbie Hancock. They might not necessarily know him, but they'll be there, and like, it's such a big deal that I feel it tries to draw something new, where it's not just like an Avicii or like those big Hardwell. I don't even know who, like, the big kind of like Tiesto.
Okay.
It's not that kind of. It's drawing on something a little more authentic, a little more.
They have so many local acts at this thing, and the other thing is that a couple months ago they were even vetting them, so they would invite them to perform shows. So trying to get like
Auditions.
even the most. They gave everybody a shot. Like you have a new band, and you would talk to these guys, and they were putting on these shows like at Floyd and some other places to kind of try and get as many good people into this festival as possible, as opposed to just kind of sitting there and waiting for people to contact them, and then they wouldn't know who was good and who wasn't. And so the local list is stacked. It's stacked, and it's stacked with quality acts, and it really makes a difference to, I don't know, the feel of the whole thing, I suppose.
It's interesting to me that you say that Ultra is a Miami thing, because I'm not a fan of this type of music. I'm not very familiar with it. I know of it. I know bits and pieces. I'm a kind of
You're aware of.
I'm aware. I'm a
goes
little bit
around
more of an insular guy. I stick to the older stuff, but I'm aware of it. A lot of the guys that I work with are part of this scene. But, I wouldn't know the names. I wouldn't know of it. So, I forget where I'm going.
Are you talking about Ultra or 3
About
Points?
being
So
Big
Ultra,
Miami.
I find, is not... I always got the vibe kind of like Ultra's an external thing. It's like
It's a lot of people from
Ultra-
outside.
Ultra-
The people that come
the
from
artists.
outside, the
Right,
artists.
it's
Nowadays, because
No,
that's
but
the
a lot
thing.
of the people that come to Ultra too, to the audience, and the thing is that they come to Miami with a stereotypical kind of impression. So they go and they show up in bikinis and like glow sticks, which is part of whatever. But
People
that's
love
also what they see as Miami.
But that's got to be going on in other cities.
It does, but the thing is,
Not like this.
Ultra is different in the sense that it was always kind of branded a little differently. It always approached
Totally.
it a little different because I haven't been to Ultra since like 2006, 2007. I've had no real desire.
Same.
I mean, I see the lineup, and as a fan of dance music, it's always a very good lineup, but it's always kind of things that I always end up feeling that I'll see at least 60 to 70% of that artist roster back in Miami within the next 6 months, playing like the whole night at a club. And like, okay, I don't want to go see this guy play for 1 hour. I can see him play for 5 hours in 3 months for a third of the price and have a blast. Like that happens in Miami a lot. Whenever
Yeah,
you see
that's
these
true.
festivals, you'll see somebody headlining and be like, okay, yeah, well, I'll see them in 6 months here again. That's why someone like Herbie Hancock and Erykah Badu, like,
You're
that's
not
very
going to
special.
see them
Those
here
guys
in Miami
won't
again.
be back.
It's much more of a music lovers conference,
Yeah.
the festival, the 3 Points, than Ultra is a
It's a
pop
different-
music conference to a certain extent.
Nowadays, but I always remember the roots of Ultra. Like Ultra actually started on the beach,
Yeah,
on Miami Beach,
yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
just like one stage, and it's just like, yo,
Is
let's
it
throw
the
a
same
cool
as the
party.
Winter Music Conference?
Winter Music Conference has been built around Ultra.
No.
That's
Other
what I
way
understood.
around.
What?
Other way
Thank you,
around.
DJ.
It was Winter
Shit.
Music Conference always used to happen every year, and
That week.
it was actually a thing.
Oh,
Like where
what?
people would go to panels and discuss the industry and distribution and labels, and it was actually a winter music conference.
And what happened? And they threw
And
Ultra in that week.
And they saw, like, we have all these artists, we have all these DJs, let's take advantage of the fact that they're here and let's throw a crazy party on the beach. I mean, that's...
And it just,
that's-
like, kinda
that
blew
seems
up.
like the reasonable idea. Like, that would go through my... Like, that would be
Well,
awesome.
now
Let's
they're
do that.
moving to the Marine Stadium.
Yeah, because they got voted out of Bayside or Bayfront Park.
Mm-hmm.
But
For many reasons. I think
Yeah.
the businesses
Oh.
got tired of them in the traffic.
I mean, you would never... Like, if you're a local and you're not going there, you wouldn't
I think that
get within 3 miles
those
of
buildings
Ultra
that
when
have
it's
gone
happening.
up in the past
Agreed.
10 years. Yeah, well, plus the buildings.
I'm worried
and
that they're
residential.
going to... How are we on time?
Oh, we're good.
I'm worried that the Winter Music, the Ultra, is going to impact on...
Like that.
No, but I'm actually going to try and be serious here.
No, I know.
What, the environment and everything
But
around there?
fuck the environment. I'm sorry.
They're actually setting up fences around the...
brother,
like the Virginia Key Beach, so people can't actually go on the beach.
Yeah.
those
Which is
those
smart.
fences are already set. I've seen them. I worked the boat show, and we're
Yeah.
going to transition from boat show into Winter Music Conference.
It's much more
And
insane.
I try not to cuss on this show. But,
You failed.
I apologize. I failed. But so my worry is there's a very serious effort in reviving the Marine Stadium as a venue place.
Why would you
but
say
it's-
fear?
Because I'll tell you, I'm going to do my best not to tangent there. But the Marine Stadium used to be a great venue. There was boat races. Jimmy Buffett
the
played there.
skiing,
Yeah, I know.
all
But
that?
there was concerts there. They set up floating docks. Jimmy Buffett played to a 30,000 strong crowd, and that's Buffett. I understand. It's not
When
a-
was that? More or less?
back in
80-something.
The
back in
80s? Yeah.
So after over a decade or two of sitting dormant and
That
only being a place for bums and people on liveaboards and jet skiers and like doing nothing there, the boat show has had the initiative of reviving it as a new home for the boat show, and they've done really well there in the last 4 years.
Are you doing a boat show promo?
Yeah,
right now?
what? Wait, what's
were
your
just
fear
talking
about
about
Ultra at
some
Marine
BS
Stadium?
some
Go.
BS
My
promo.
fear is that so the boat show manages the traffic very well, and it manages hundreds
It's
of
also a
thousands,
super different crowd.
hundreds. Well, this is my point. Boat show crowd is more responsible people. They
They
wake
could
up.
buy a boat.
Oh, right. They wake up on
No,
time.
boat people. We talked about this earlier.
Right.
Boat owners are very strategic.
They
with
plan their
everything, yeah.
days. They're strategic. They've got means.
The way they maneuver
they're responsible.
things and-
They're going
yeah.
to move in. They're going to respect the traffic patterns that the Miami Beach, or City of Miami Police lays out for them. And where I'm going with this is, I'm worried that Ultra are going to go there, and you're going to have these crazy, whacked out teenagers in early 20s who have misplaced themselves from Burning Man, and they're going to be painted. They're going to be painted silver on
Thought
X
this
for
was the desert.
X for 3 days in a row, and they're going to wander out in the causeway and screw it up.
So the good thing you don't have to worry because the people who go into there's no re-entry, number one, and the people who go they just stay inside the whole time. The traffic is at the beginning, and then when
Yeah,
people
but when
leave
it's
at the end.
100,000 people,
Nah, that's the thing.
20
It's the influx. I mean, there's
100,000 people, right?
no, people show up at all times.
Yeah.
and I
telling
know
you,
people
bro.
that'll show up for
I'm
just the
telling you,
last
bro.
hour to see a certain act.
Hell yeah!
It will be a disaster because of
We-
the nature of the event.
In a month,
Not a
we will
disaster,
talk about it again on the show because we will have lived it. Okay, in particular, two of us
There
that
you
live
go.
there, and we're gonna know. My problem is 1 weekend it's boat show, 1 weekend it's ultra, 1 weekend it's da-di-da. Is the opening the door to
what was
allowing
what was the third one?
da-di-da.
It's a new underground festival.
No way, really?
Acapella.
It's the opening the door to allowing there to be events on a weekly basis, because then it is frustrating as someone who lives
But
there.
your fear is only as a resident of the Key Biscayne.
Yeah, I'm talking about resident Key
The Key Biscayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let's bring it back, guys. I don't
Are
want
we
to
talking about 3 points?
I don't want to talk traffic right now because I just
I'm
don't
not-
care.
Because we
wasn't-
talked
I
about
wasn't gonna
traffic
go-
for half an hour already with the fucking
Yeah,
highway.
exactly.
I wasn't going to go traffic. I honestly think that it would be very cool to see Marine Stadium revive.
Oh, yeah,
as
of
a venue.
course.
Man, I love you.
It would be
I'm
awesome.
all about
I've dreamt about it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It has
Okay.
sat dormant forever. What is there else to do in Miami other than going to shopping
Well,
malls
nothing's
and
going on.
restaurants? And
Going to the highway, double
listen, let me
decker
tell
supreme.
you, I have worked there for years, and watching the sunset over the city of Miami as she turns her lights
got one of
on
the
the
most special
buildings
venues.
is magical, man. And talk about Magic City. And, wait, didn't we want this show to be a Miami show?
Yeah.
Right. Watching the city of Miami light up as the sun sets behind her.
Can you still see the Bank of America building?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
lit up.
man. I'm telling you, bro. It's gorgeous. And concerts, boat races, whatever we got. You know,
Yeah, I'm
art
always-
shows even.
I had a dream of just being able to throw a party there, like not even necessarily a party, but a concert. Just set up like a stage, a floating stage that wouldn't be too complicated.
I got the
There's
guys who
people
could
that
rent
do
it for you.
and then you have a show. Parking's already taken care of. There's a crazy amount of parking. I think it would be so cool to do something there.
Yeah.
To make sure people are responsible.
I think it's
about it
cool
and
on a
don't trash
smaller
it.
scale, but
No,
not
'cause-
ultra
yeah,
scale.
here's
You know
the
what I'm
threat.
saying?
Ultra. But
Here's
like,
Yeah.
No,
Here's-
not all.
Here's the
Interpol.
threat is that it'll go to a developer who will put up 3 big high rises there
Ew.
and make it a private marina.
No.
And with for condos. And that is don't you think
is
they're
that on the
chomping?
table?
Of course
it is.
They're chomping at the bit here in South
And I
Florida.
was like, oh, no way. I'm like,
No.
oh, God, that's
Yeah.
terrifying. That's probably actually.
You know who hates it?
Somebody's got that money behind it.
There's some people I love in this room who are key rats, and they think about. Oh, you're a key rat too. I grew up in Perricone.
You're-
But what are we talking about? Because
Yeah, so wait,
They-
what are
they
we?
hate the traffic. But listen,
That's what-
your tennis show is gone. Your tennis
Yeah.
tournament's gone. So
So we were exchanging one thing for the other?
well, the boat show I think is cool.
if every
I-
Key Biscayne resident just goes to the boat show, then they won't have to worry about traffic.
I don't look, guys. I don't want
Whoa,
to talk
whoa.
about traffic.
Rein
right
us
now.
in here, bro.
Yeah, please.
Fine,
You
next
first-
topic.
you
3
guys have
points?
guys-
Are we going back to 3 points?
Can you guys just tell
There's
me,
going to be a lot of traffic at 3 points.
Santi? Can you tell me
Fifth Avenue.
who you're excited for at 3 points? Because that's what I really want to hear about, and I'm tired of hearing about Ultra at the boat show. Okay,
The
Ultra at the boat show. The Ultra boat show.
exactly.
Yes.
It's
The
happening.
UBS.
It's happening.
As a guy we know, it's happening.
Let me ask you something. You were on the bill with Terrence Thibault, right on right next to you.
Never heard of him.
The one person on the bill that you have heard about, Arthur.
I think you mean DJ Suicide.
Oh, is DJ Suicide now?
Waxy Cuts.
Oh, okay. I don't know, but
Never heard of Terrence.
does that mean you guys play at the same time, or did they just put you guys? Oh no, it's TS. That's what happened.
Yeah,
of course.
That damn alphabet.
Yeah. Okay, so talk to me. I went to one of your sets. I think it was 2 years ago, and I loved it. I remember thinking, first of all,
At 3 points?
Yeah, 3 points. It was in a.
Was it that year?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't that year?
Radio listeners aren't aware of what that year was.
It was a year.
I don't think.
Do you remember?
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah, I remember. That was.
I'm in
not-
the room
not
and
a
I don't
good
know
year.
what that year was.
Vague
It was just
recollections,
we went to
so.
3 points together, and it wasn't a good time.
What? I had a great time.
Whatever. It was.
That's why
story straight.
Let me get
Yeah.
back to the story. Here. I go in
What an asshole.
and Santi is. What? Now you're offended.
I had the best time.
Lightly offended. So that means she wouldn't tell you to put her cigarette out. Lightly.
Santi, you were playing something that sounded. It wasn't house. It definitely wasn't house music. It was. It sounded almost industrial at the time.
Was I playing inside a big room or
Yes,
outside?
inside a big room.
Was it last year?
No.
All right, so then it would have been like a couple of years ago, the White Dragon stage. That was like a little more like kind of heavier techno.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, oh man, this is something I didn't expect this. And so, what are you going to do now? And really, like, who are you excited to see?
Person I'm most excited to see by far is Auntie Flo.
Oh, and that's who you recommended. I
That's
shouldn't have.
the song.
You just
I
failed.
just blew it, but whatever.
But it's this. I can't say I know his entire life story, but I'm pretty sure it's some Scottish guy who has African background, and he just makes this awesome kind of. It's like Afrobeat, tribal-ish. Like it's very African influenced, but it doesn't really have any sort of easily defined like genre, or like you can't really like slot it in because it covers a lot of ground. But it's very dancey.
When does he play?
I think he plays like Friday at like 10 p.m. Like I'm
Oh,
out,
like,
that's like
perfect time.
That's like
Prime
that's
time.
like
Big
the
time.
one like that and like Pirate Stereo. Like my partner, like his set, like it's like at 7 that night. Those are the only two sets I know for sure.
Yeah.
Like Auntie Flo, like that guy's gonna be really cool. I don't know what to expect.
Cool.
Which I love when that happens.
Yeah.
Because you just, like, I mean, there's another artist there that's playing 3 points, DJ Cozy. Ridiculously talented guy. But if you hear what he plays, what he makes, like his last album called, like, Knock Knock, it has, like, a lot of hip-hop influences. It's, like, slower. It's not necessarily techno, but it's kind of like a cross between, like, electronic and kind of hip-hop, but with his kind of German stylings. Like, it is techno-y, but not... It's not that, like, kind of like, you know, that vibe that you can kind of hear when you say techno, because techno is so broad, but when you hear it, you hear the word, you tend to narrow it down to just this little style. But this guy, like, when he plays, like, he can, that's the beauty of it. You don't know what you're going to get.
Ooh.
When an artist does that, like, that's really, when an artist has the ability to execute that, that's great.
What's cool there, I mean, I haven't gone in like 2 years, but the last time I went, it was a set, this DJ, two DJs that played together. They were French, Benoit and
Sergio.
Sergio.
Really
And like, they're pretty big, and they played this tiny stage, and it wasn't overcrowded. It's just people flowing from stage to stage, dancing a little bit, walking around, and it was awesome.
I mean, that's again, that's the
Yeah.
beauty of the festival.
Yeah,
Like,
it was great.
it can check you in the sense that, like, you will be playing and then you're like, yep, like, there's no one here. Like, that happens because someone else is on a different stage. And, like, that happened to me last year in the best of ways because it blew me away. I was playing the same time as Gorillaz.
Oh wow.
So it's like, I remember, like, we had
How many people did
we
you
had the
have?
Slap and Stickle stage. We had our own stage.
Yeah.
We programmed it. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to play this time to this time. Like,
Yeah.
we set our times. Like, that's what happens when you get your stage. And we didn't know what else was going on in the festival, but we just set the times. And
Yeah.
I played, like, I think it was like 11 to 12:30, something
And
like
Gorillaz
that.
is playing.
And, like, I remember seeing the schedule. I'm like, oh, great. Like, I put myself at the same time as Gorillaz. Like, cool. I should, like, you have an expectation of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to start. everyone's going to leave and go to Gorillaz. Like,
Yeah.
they were the draw of the festival
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how pleasantly surprised I was.
Ooh.
I started playing
Sometimes
and like,
people also don't want to be overcrowded,
Exactly.
so they're
You
not
saw-
going for that. Yeah. Yeah.
you saw that kind of little exodus when Gorillaz like set time was about to start. Mm-hmm. But you saw it creep back in
That's cool.
very kind of quickly. I mean, I obviously couldn't see Gorillaz because I was DJing, but I heard maybe that they didn't perform as well. Or, But I just remember.
Well, like you
at-
said, the big
during
acts
my
that
s-
sometimes
during
you know,
my set
yeah.
at the end of the set, I remember like I'm obviously looking up and you're paying attention to the room.
Yeah.
But when you're really focused, your only thing that's on your mind is the next track and like maybe like where you want to take your set. Like
Yeah.
I never plan anything, so it's always like trying to figure it out where I think the best course of action would be, what to play, what I want to play, what I think the crowd wants to hear, and what I want to play. It's always a balance, but I was blown away by the fact that at the end of my set, I'm like,
There were people there.
this room is slammed.
That's
It's like
awesome.
a big warehouse. There were like 1,000, 2,000 people in there. And
That's
you're just kind of
awesome.
like, whoa, all right, this is dope.
That's awesome.
Then, like Jonas, the Ratsman, the guy that came on after us, a good friend of ours,
Yeah.
he's like, all right, dude, like, I'm ready. It was like, it's time to switch off. And I'm like, oh, you bastard. But it's like, oh, yeah, it's Jonas. It's the Viking. Like, yeah. But it's special when you get that. You're like, wow,
Hell yeah.
okay, like, I thought this was going to be very different. And I've had opposite experiences when I thought it was going to be great, and then it's terrible. Like, you just have
Do you know
no
the-
preparation.
Amount of people that go now.
I don't really know what they're like.
Because the first year, I'd be surprised if there were even 3,000 people.
First year, like,
Yeah.
oh, that, yeah,
Because I was
probably.
there, and it was like, it was fucking awesome, but it was like very small.
Is that like Flying Lotus and such? And like, no, that was also at Mana. Mana was the
It was at Man. It was at Man.
Nicholas
Yeah, yeah.
Jar, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Or that was the second year, I think.
I think Nico Jar has been on a bunch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
how
don't
many
know about the amount of people
Yeah.
they get.
But it's just grown so much, is the point of my story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely much like what I remember the first couple of years. I'd go to someone and be like, oh, have you heard 3 points? And they'd be like, no, what's 3 points?
Yeah, exactly.
Now I feel like you ask anyone in Miami, and people know it.
They
People-
know what's going
Or
on.
they've at least heard of it. Like, yo, it's like a music festival.
Yeah.
Does anybody know why it's called 3 points?
Yeah, 3 points, like music, technology, and art.
Oh.
That's like what the 3 points of the festival. It's
Learned
what
it
they try to-
something.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
always
So
have a big
I-
emphasis on art.
Yeah, they do. The whole thing is art and technology. Like, that's what it was always branded as.
Isn't that like TED?
They had TED, like TED Talks.
Like TED Talks.
No, they have some art installations. At least the first year, it was actually the last time I went 2 years ago. It's still heavy on that. They have a bunch of like kind of art installations. I'm talking as if I don't know about art, but installations that are interactive and media related.
I remember, like, I think last year one of the big like technology things is they had some. It was like some booth from like NASA or something where
Oh,
it was
what?
like some VR experience where you could go in. It's like this is what Mars would look like from Mars, and it was
Yeah, I
some,
can't
like,
trust
VR.
any of that stuff.
But, okay, I'm not saying I'm for it. But I'm just saying that's part of
Artie doesn't believe we landed on the moon, so we're
that's
gonna
part
like
of.
it.
All right, then.
Are you one of those?
That's one thing we're not going to talk about because
100%.
On that
You
note,
should talk to Bill.
go out to 3 points this weekend.
it'll be dope.
Yeah, it'll be dope.
Oh.
Go on
Is it
Sunday.
this week?
So-
Is it this weekend?
Go
It's this weekend.
Go on Sunday at
So-
6:30.
All right.
I will mention this very quickly. We're so over time. But last weekend, not only was it Noise Conference, I also went to a concert of a Brazilian band that was amazing, Tribalistas at Fillmore, but also it was Ground Up Music Festival. So, like, there's so much happening.
They try
You
to pack
know,
them all in
Jesus
right now, I
Christ.
guess.
It was
to
so intense
capitalize.
last weekend.
I mean, do you know one of the main reasons you see a lot around now?
Snowbirds.
Hurricane.
because they're not going to do it in,
Yeah,
Every year, 3
October.
points used to be in October.
In October, they switched it over when LCD canceled.
and I remember, like, because I played that, and like I'm good
That was
friends
2
with
years
like, some
ago.
of the people
No,
that
it's
work
cool.
there.
That makes sense.
It was
And
August
it was-
2017.
It was very much
or
because
September
of
2017.
I went that year also.
the year LCD canceled. It wasn't that they weren't able to come down. It's that they weren't able to bring all their gear down because they have to truck that stuff down.
And insure it.
Exactly, and you can't drive a truck in like 60, 70-degree winds. That thing will knock over and like cause like.
Plus,
serious, like-
you don't know until the day of, basically. So they could say, it's coming, and the bands that are not from here don't know any
like
better.
it.
They're like, I can't.
I like it.
Yeah.
Miami creates its own sort of
Season.
cultural scene
Season.
based on the hurricanes.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I mean, like that's if you're throwing such a big event and then like.
Remember when
Oh,
the
look, there's a
exhibition was
hurricane.
canceled?
Oh yeah,
The opening?
absolutely.
Do you remember? We had
I've
10 artists here
I've been
stuck
a
in
part
Miami.
of several exhibitions that got canceled because we got a hurricane.
September
burn.
openings. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember
That one was intense, though.
I remember a couple artists there.
Oh, ew, man! I creep over.
Oh man.
But their work was really good.
Yeah,
Me
their work
too.
was really good.
Anyway.
Rafa, even more ew. I don't think he knows that one.
I'm definitely not in on this trip.
I hooked up with one of those artists.
And I only found out later.
Artie,
Which one?
not the one that you liked.
No, I didn't.
He didn't like any of
I
them.
didn't like any.
He didn't like any of them, dude. Are you kidding me?
I'm just joking.
It was me that liked someone.
You guys are hilarious, dude.
I, for one, am happy for you.
Hey, you know what we're going to
I
talk about right
was
now?
super-
Openings and closings, and I got one for you.
Oh, shit, what's closing?
Perriconi's.
Oh, finally, really?
Perricone the restaurant with the tree in the middle.
in Brickell.
It's
is
closing after how many
They
years?
sold the place
For a high rise, high rise.
For a high rise. It's
They have a
gonna be
cute
high rise.
garden, that little garden.
Yes, they got that oak tree that grows in the middle.
Yes.
Well, that oak tree's gonna be.
So
gone.
they're closing. They sold it to the high rise. The guy banked, and they're moving to the roads, Coral Way, and
Oh, they're moving it?
yeah, they're moving it to the roads, like Coral Way, right in front of like Tuta Pasta.
Yeah, may they rot.
Not a fan?
No, I was a fan of them. Where they were, it was a beautiful.
The market.
Yeah.
Like, walk
Yeah,
through the market, you know?
wait a minute. Does Brickell need another high rise?
No, it does
No, it
not.
does not.
At all.
Don't we need some spaces in the middle of all this construction
Like-
development?
Like a new
For-
a double-decker
For
highway?
I don't
But you
know,
could put a park on
at
top
least
of
a
high
dog
rise.
park, you know.
But is it up to Don Perricone to keep that thing alive when
No,
somebody came to him and said,
No.
"Here's 50
Listen,
mil"?
listen, no, but we did mention two people who have held on to their shit, and I don't know for what purpose or whatever, but one of them I don't think it's for financial gain, and that's the coroner building, okay?
No, the corner.
So
But Perricone's
and I hope he's listening. I got a lot of respect for him.
I do too.
wait,
I do
I do.
too.
Perricone's has been holding on maybe for 25 years.
Probably more, really
the
more.
corner
Oh,
just
no.
celebrated its 7th birthday.
No,
like, talk to
yeah,
me.
you're right. Perricone's been there for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably got offers to make a building
Whatever.
there for a long time.
Whatever.
And finally, he decided, hey,
But truth be
Yeah, well,
told,
the guy,
I'm
if the
moving-
guy's been at it for so long, doing it for so long, it's kind of like
Fine.
maybe I kind of want to retire with $50 million.
yeah,
he's not retiring. That's the thing. They're moving it to Coral Way
He's
and
retiring.
in the roads.
it'll
He
fail.
probably sold it past.
It'll
Like,
fail.
Yeah,
It'll
really.
you think it'll fail there?
I'm sure it will.
I go to Tuta Pasta. It's right there.
No, but it'll fail because it's not the real Perricone's that people got.
Yeah.
used to.
Yeah.
With the tree in the
I mean,
middle and the
like,
garden in the
Hey,
market.
Look at
Yeah.
us. We sold out.
All right,
Dude,
this-
it's
this
not.
brings
I'll tell you
up-
something. It's not for the food that people go there. It's for the experience, the vibe, the
Yes.
thing.
Well, this
Yeah.
brings,
Yeah.
this brings
Yes, it's for the break-in, the Brickell craziness.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the
It's
little
not for
open
the
air
food.
and the big
It's not
tree
for
in
the
the
food
backyard.
anymore, at least.
But here's a question.
Perricone's, you'll learn your lesson.
Here's a question. So, I mean, it's obviously not the same, but it's like, would you still go to Joe's if Joe's moved?
Joe Stonecrab.
But Joe's is about the.
If Joe Stonecrab's
Question.
moved, it would
To
lose.
North Beach.
It would lose.
It moves to North Beach.
No, if
Would
it
you
moved
go?
to Hialeah, yeah, you're not gonna go.
That's Jose's Stone Crab.
What's gonna happen? They're sitting on a $50 million property, and it's not gonna. Right? Would I go to Joe's? No. And I've gone to Joe's. I take my old lady on a date there. I
Nice.
got a buddy who's
Tomorrow?
no, her birthday's coming up actually. Tomorrow? What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's the 14th of February.
Yeah, right. 14th of
Anyway,
February.
so you
Regular day.
wouldn't go to Joe's if it, no, I get what you're saying with Perricone's because it
So
definitely
Joe
is that little break.
Joe
in the-
sells and moves to Brickell.
No, not Brickell. Come on, somewhere a little more pleasant.
Oh, okay.
Alapata.
Wait. Smith and Walensky.
To there, they moved to Smith and Walensky.
No, Smith and Walensky sells and moves somewhere else. Are you going there? No.
I remember I
Not
just
for-
brought this up the other day.
$60 steaks.
The location.
Listen, I used
Go
to
for the ambiance.
I used to go there. We would take our boys.
Martinis.
Me and the old lady would take our two boys, so they could ride their bikes and their scooters on the beach, and I'd tell her, okay, hey, and in the afternoon, you and I are going to have cocktails and watch the boys play on the rocks, because the boys play on the rocks right there on the government cut.
Back when you used to actually let the
200
boys play on rocks.
$200 later, the bill comes. Still a nice time. Honestly, money well spent. Hanging out. It's super expensive.
But if it
It's
moves
super-
to
I know,
wherever,
it's super
no.
Miami. If they moved to Brickell or if they moved to Biscayne, forget about it.
It's not the same, man.
Forget about it.
Okay.
So we're not going to Perricone. This is the point of the story.
I don't know. If I might.
Hey,
You might.
Perricone,
You might order from Perricone's. Whether you'll go and actually eat there is an entirely
Perricone's,
different
your
subject.
food wasn't that great. It's your death knell to move out of there. And you think you're
I like
gonna,
how you're speaking
you
directly
think
to
you're
him.
gonna stay
He's
alive, you're dead.
You know
You're
what?
dead to me.
You're
You're
kind of
dead.
right.
Dead to me.
Because you don't say that the food's that great there. Nobody's ever raving.
Nobody
about it.
No.
goes to Perricone's for the food.
Not
man.
only that, it's been on the decline for 7 years,
I
8
would
years.
say that too.
That's why
Yeah.
that's why they're selling. Listen, everyone who goes
They know.
everyone who goes into a business has a business plan, and the eventual end of that plan is to sell the business.
He sold the building, not the business. So.
Or you get a-hole to do a little graffiti thing.
bringing it back. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the calendar.
Damn it, you're good. You're good.
Oh wait, calendar.
Good, you.
Do you guys want to do music? I don't have the speaker, so it's hard to play the music.
Don't blame me.
What if you
No,
just
I'm
sang
not blaming you. No, normally what we do is we have a little speaker and I play it right into the mic, right? And it actually sounds pretty good.
I mean, you could just do it off your
It
phone.
sounds, yeah, I know, but it's not going to sound as good. It's going to sound kind of tinny, kind of whatever.
It's already 10:45. I have to
Whoa.
go home and edit.
Oh, wow. You guys are, okay. Then we'll skip music this
Oh
time.
no, I feel bad skipping music. We're
Did
talking
you guys
about music.
listen to the songs?
Yeah, what do you, oh no, you didn't send them to us.
Yeah, I did.
When?
You listened to them.
Wait, when did you send? You didn't send it to me.
Yeah, I put it in the Benny group chat.
No.
There you go. Ah, what a shame.
Benny and I have been busy,
So-
separately but busy. Oh, listen.
Who's this Benny? You guys
I
keep
mean,
talking
Oh,
about?
God.
Arthur.
Benjamin.
Anyway, hey, we're getting loose over here. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
the
noticed,
problem.
I
We're a little
noticed.
loose. Look,
Sober up a bit, will you?
I guess we don't have the speaker, and we don't have the. And
We all
you
chose
didn't.
3
And you
points.
didn't listen to the music, and Artie didn't send a song in.
Oh, dude,
but
we're
I
not
will
doing
say
it.
this. I will say
Anti-flow.
this. So exactly. So
What did you choose?
Santi sent in the anti-flow song, and I thought I was. When I heard it, I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to be into this because I'm not normally listening to."
Anti-flow.
Yeah, especially that I listen to all these things not in the car, but at my desk, right? And I put this on, and it's exactly how you described it, like some kind of like electronic with some kind of African thing
Chanting,
behind it.
textures.
A rhythm that was very easy to get into. It's not in any way. I don't know. It was just what a great pick is what I was.
Okay, I'm
it's not
excited, I'm
necessarily like
excited.
dance music. It's music
I'm
that like,
excited.
makes you dance, but it's not that like kind of that like kick, snare, hat kind of like. It doesn't have that
Okay.
kind of like. House.
I'm excited.
It's pretty good, and I would check it out. Can you remind us? It's just Dance Ritual 2. Anti-Flow featuring Onbly.
Onbly, I think it is.
Onbly.
And it just like switches gears halfway through the track.
I'm excited. I'll listen to it on my way home.
Actually, let me. There we go. I can pull it up on the video feed for post. So that's what he recommended, and then I recommended, and I wish that Artemis
homework?
would have listened to it because this is playing at 3 points. Also, all the songs that we picked this week were playing at 3 points.
I would have loved to.
All three of them.
Yeah.
Usually we get the links to like listen to the playlist.
I sent it.
I didn't see it.
I'm a
till
creature
now.
of simplicity. You got to make it super simple, like dummy proof for me.
Yeah, the
I cl-
masses
I
are
click-
asses.
Yeah,
Show up with a
dude, and I'm
VHS
the
tape.
biggest one.
You have to send it in the mail
Yeah, I clicked.
to Artie's house.
I clicked on the link and it was like a newspaper article. Like,
That's why I didn't listen.
I was like,
You said the wrong link.
Yeah,
I sent it
mean,
after. But
I
anyway.
thought it was a list of songs.
Long story short, I picked a song by.
So we are doing music.
Yeah, I guess I'm just going to talk about it. I can't play it right now, which is a shame because that's
But
how
the
we.
listeners can.
Yeah, and only me and Santi have heard the songs, so it's kind of Normally we
I
bring
don't
up
feel
the songs
Let
and
me
as much a
interpret.
failure. I got to be
And
honest.
we bring up the songs and then we shit on them.
Only
but we
half of
can't
the
do it.
people listen to the song.
I brought up a song by Ty Segall and White Fence,
Cool.
who are playing at 3 Points also.
Cool.
And I had not heard this
I
stuff,
don't believe
okay?
in fences.
But when I heard this song, I was pleasantly surprised, and I thought to myself, Arthur is going to love this song. Like, he's going to be...
Of course, you
not
picked
only-
a song that Artie would like.
No, I thought, out of all this stuff,
Male seduction.
it's going to kind of...
Who's Arthur?
Lives doing
You
it.
keep talking about Artemis.
Arthur Ashe, Arthur Garfunkel,
Handler.
Arthur Handler. I brought it up, and these guys are writing music that reminds you of rock back in the day, but it's
All
not.
right.
So it's like
Down.
a good mood. And then Anna picked Seafoam Walls, which I would, who is a local band.
Sifo?
Seafoam.
Oh, I heard Sifo.
Oh, you guys are getting too loose here. Okay.
Tired. Seafoam Walls. Wait, did you like the pick?
That was my favorite song of the whole thing. So even though I picked this and I liked Santi's
Listen, I
song,
spent a lot of time on Sifo walls.
That's really funny.
no, it's really not.
It's
It
funny.
is really funny when
really
you
is.
work there.
It really
It's
is.
funny.
It really
It
is.
really
No,
is.
but okay, wait.
If we
I'm
had the
glad
right
you
audience.
liked mine.
It doesn't matter. Let's
What?
move on to the
We talked about
calendar.
yours. I was really listen. I'm happy because I picked a
Do
song.
you see that face?
This is a mess.
I'm happy because I was forced to pick from the 3 Points lineup, and then I naturally gravitated towards Devonte Hines, aka Blood Orange, or Blood Orange, aka Devonte Hines, because that album really was my favorite album last year. But then I forced myself to pick a local band because I thought that'd be cooler. And then I started learning about Seafoam Walls, and I've heard of them before, but never really gave them a listen like hardcore. And their music's awesome.
Well, they're playing at 3 Points this weekend, and everybody should go check it out.
Yeah, Seafoam Walls.
All right, we've been on the air for a little long, so let's wrap it up with a little calendar
Yes.
and take it from there. Okay,
Oh,
let me
folks,
tell you,
we've-
if you guys want to chime in, just chime in the day after the date that I mentioned, okay? So,
Mine starts tomorrow. I'm joking. It starts Friday. So.
okay, so tomorrow, well, actually, right now at Gramps, if you are somehow listening live, you got Haute Tension and a bunch of these 3 Point artists that are local are doing a little
Nice.
party at Gramps until midnight. Worth checking out. Get off your radio and go out there. Tomorrow, Santi says he's going. Are you going tonight to Gramps?
I mean, I would like to make an appearance.
Oh, all right. There you go.
So you can meet DJ Santi Caballero there.
I believe they have a
What?
bar there. That is appealing.
Oh, that is, there you go. So there's a little party there to start off the 3 Points weekend. Tomorrow,
Foreplay.
Valentine's Day at 777 Mall from 5 to 8 p.m. You got Mariana from here on Jolt Radio,
Woo.
Forward the Motion. You got
Nice.
Hilltronics
Nice.
is going
We
to
love
be playing.
Hills.
And it's a weird time. It's 5 to 8 p.m.
Wait, what is this 777 Mall?
Oh, you haven't been there?
Oh, you would like
Oh,
it.
it's in
would dig
downtown.
it.
It's on First Street, Northeast First Street, and it is a mall owned by Mana. Wait.
It's on.
It's an old shopping mall owned by Mana.
Like those
the
old shopping malls that have been there forever that try to
the
sell you
80s
Exactly.
one. Yes.
weird suits and suitcases.
So he bought this mall probably
Tight.
to redevelop it
You
at
put
some
aside
point.
the whole block
And yeah, it's to kind of give it some life. Exactly.
so that he could resell it for more.
Yes,
Business.
he lets people use it, and Jolt has a place there. A bunch of artists have places there.
A lot
There's-
of artist studios.
There's
there.
this basement
Valentines.
dungeon. Yeah, Dalezine is there. There's this basement dungeon that they throw parties into. That's kind of cool.
It has low ceilings and
Actual
it's like
dungeon.
it feels funky in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
So that's tomorrow, 5 to 8 p.m. Go check that out.
We also got our event tomorrow night.
What do you have?
We got Roosevelt live tomorrow night at 1306.
Oh, tell us some more.
Roosevelt is this, as you can tell from the name, he's a German guy. And he makes really, really good kind of like indie dance music. has kind of like a little bit of rock sensibility to it and like vibe, but it's dance and like synthy and very fun, very upbeat. And it's Valentine's Day. It's gonna be. He's playing with his band, so it's live. It's not just like a DJ set, which
Cool.
makes it
that's
much
kinda cool.
much more.
Yeah, it does live.
encompassing.
I guess
Yeah.
it gives it more energy.
That's
To a
cool.
certain
You
extent.
guys are more than welcome to come. Obviously,
Oh, very
That's
cool.
tomorrow night?
not you.
Damn it.
So wait, and then you better get out to 1306 because they're going to build a highway right there.
I'm going to ask my Valentine to take me as his +1.
And then Andrea
I don't have
Bocelli's playing tomorrow night at American Airlines Arena. If you want to do that, you know, you want to
That's romantic.
get
We're
lovely.
gonna get a big influx of people from that, I'm sure.
For
All right.
sure.
Also tomorrow starting is the Miami International Boat Show.
Yeah, baby.
And it goes on through Sunday on Virginia Key. Go
Wrong.
check it out.
Through Monday. my
Wrong.
friend.
Through Monday.
wrong.
It's President's Day week.
Sure.
Oh, there you go.
Where do you get your information from?
I don't know. Stick up your hand and say, "Where's Artie?" And you'll get the VIP.
You got free beer.
Yeah, I go by another name out there.
Big Jim.
On Friday, February 15th, you've got Donsi at Las Rozas with A Starry Night. Okay. I love Donsi.
I do
Great
too.
band. But I don't know if I can go to Las Rozas again because I'm there all the goddamn time. Also on Friday, the February 15th,
Smoking.
you got Jamila Sabur at Nina Johnson Art Opening. Jamila is a local artist, and she
She's awesome.
is pretty awesome. So
That's from 7 to 9.
from 7 to 9, there you go.
And you could head over to Emerson Dorsch for a group show opening.
Oh, really? I didn't
From
get
6
that
to
one.
9. It's called Fragment. I think Layden has a piece in there.
Ooh, I got
It's a group show. 6 to 9 at Emerson Dorsch.
All right.
Right on. I know the Dorsch Gallery from the old days.
Yeah.
On
That's all I got.
also
Saturday.
starting on Friday is
Oh.
3 points through
Jesus.
Sunday. Oh wait, you have something on Friday also?
No, Saturday.
Okay, on
DJ.
Friday through Sundays, 3 points.
Where is 3 points?
It's in
Mana Studios.
on
Oh,
5th
yes.
in Wynwood.
Yeah, I know Man of Studios.
yes.
Well, the entrance is on 5th, but it's that whole complex on 20th.
Yeah, we did Pinta there.
I'll never forget that that's where they filmed that like Too Fast, Too Furious movie.
Oh, that's right.
That's where they like. I
Nice.
remember like because I saw that it was one of those things that if you leave your TV on long enough, a Fast and the Furious movie will pop up.
You're right.
And I remember seeing, I'm like, wait, that's Mana. And there's some ridiculous chase scene where you actually see Miami
Yeah.
in like what was that, like 2004, 2005. There's an overhead shot of South Beach, like the South of 5th. South of 5th is basically a parking lot.
Yeah.
There's the continuum isn't there. None of those buildings are there. Like you see it, and it's a trip because it's going back to Miami, and you're like, Wynwood is still like wasn't touched by the white man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see like south of 5th, it's just a parking lot, and like Smith and Walensky's, there's nothing there. You
Smith
see the
and
city
Walensky?
in a different light from what it is today, and it's kind of crazy.
That is
But that's where to bring it all back together to the
that
point
is
that is
some
where
weird,
they're
wild
going through.
stuff.
He's trying to do that thing where he turns it around.
Nah.
Do you got more Friday? I got Saturday.
Tell me Saturday.
An exhibition at Swamp Space from 5 to 10.
Oh.
It's a photography exhibition. I forget the name of the photographer, but it's a show about the photographer's sister
Okay, so
called Claire.
we got some good
At Swamp
art.
Space,
We got some good
5
art
to 10.
shows this weekend.
And then I'm just going to keep going with the art. So
Okay.
can I just keep doing that? Wednesday, the 20th, Helen Molesworth at the Little Haiti Cultural Complex as part of the art talks that who is it? Art Center and Locust, I think, organize it. Helen Molesworth is a big one for Miami in terms of curatorial visitors
Okay.
to speak.
I'm definitely
To
not
speak.
clued in as much as you guys on the art.
She was the curator at
why is-
MoCA.
I will
in
say this a
LA.
million times.
What is that? Like the Museum of Contemporary Art?
in LA.
Once you start, the one that
guy's
got
good.
fired.
The one that got fired.
The one that got fired.
The one that got
yes,
fired. She's
that
coming
is
to do a lecture.
something interesting to go
And
see.
then-
She got fired because she wanted to do more interesting stuff, and then the collectors who kind of were on the board and stuff like that were like, "You gotta push the guys who we like
It's just
who we own."
it was also a time when like a lot of other major women curators were getting fired, and it was all just like about having balls, which was interesting. Okay, let's not get into that conversation.
Incorrect.
Do you remember when all this happened?
No, there's a lot of other politics with that institution that have more to do with backstabbing than
It was a weird time, though. It was a weird time. It was just like
I mean, there's always we want to promote the artists that we have in our collection because it increases their value.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, of course.
That's the oldest game in the book.
Always, dude.
But in that particular institution, there was.
Oh, nice, better.
Oh, is that better? I
Yeah, that's
apologize to our
better.
listening audience.
Sultry tones.
There's more to do with personalities and with how they rose to the top.
They even interviewed like people that worked for her and whatever. They trash talked her, but we'll see. She's going to do a lecture. Then, so that's Wednesday the 20th. Thursday the 21st, there's a bunch. Jean Moreno at the Museum of Art and Design.
Love Gene Moreno.
Me too.
Cool
and
guy.
he's incredibly intelligent, so let's see what he has to say. That Superflux exhibition is up there.
I thought
And
he was
there's
just a cool guy.
He is a cool guy. What?
I didn't know he was intelligent, too.
Yes. You
He's
knew
cool.
that. You
Oh,
knew
he's
that.
awesome. I love Gene.
You knew
It's
that.
really got a lot of things
And then
going
there's
for him.
there's an artist talk with this artist that had a studio at Art Center South Florida. I'm not sure if she still does. Her name is Alba Triana at 6:30 at 420 Lincoln Road. I don't know what that is. Then that Saturday, Judy Chicago is doing a performance at the ICA at 5:30.
Do you know how much that costs? Because I know there's some.
$5.
Five? Oh, that's
Yeah.
totally fine.
Wait,
Or free
Judy
for members.
Chicago? Is she still a
wait.
thing?
She
She
just do
is.
something at the ICA?
Yeah,
She has an exhibition there.
Look at that. I went with
She's
my
on it.
girlfriend, and
There you
she was
go.
like, "Oh, Judy Chicago." And I'm like, "Some of this is cool. I don't like some of
Yes.
this, but that's art."
She also is doing a lecture with Alex Gartenfeld, the curator there, but I don't know what day that is because I already saw them speak in December, so I did not write that down. There's also, do you know the rocking chair sessions?
No.
Sounds intense.
So, I don't know. I should describe it better before talking about it. But they interview artists and people doing stuff, whatever, not necessarily just artists. And it's like an hour long. I've heard some of my friends that work in the arts on it. It's really cool. But they're doing an exhibition of the people who they've had on their show. And it's basically the person sitting there and they're talking to whoever, right?
Okay.
And so they're doing an exhibition that opens on the 28th from 7 to 10. And it's all the artists that were featured as part of the rocking chair sessions.
You know, I'm back.
But that's cool.
I'm back and forth on them.
That's good. That's good.
Quality.
And I'll end
Quality
there
radio
because,
here.
that's too much and my agenda's getting blank now that I'm going through the pages. That was good.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Artie, I know that.
Well played.
Yes.
I don't know if you have 3 Points tickets, but if you don't, maybe you should get some. But if you don't, find some. I got something for you on Sunday. It's the Gay 8 Festival on Calle Ocho. It's the biggest Latin, Hispanic, gay, LGBTQT,
TQ.
TQ
XML
festival.
LMNOP
We're for the gay
I'm
rights,
obviously
by the way,
all
yes.
for that community,
Me
but
too.
I just like it. I feel like it just keeps getting more complicated. I
Don't
thought
they
that
add a letter?
There has been
Yes,
IA
they're very,
plus.
look, they're very inclusive. We didn't get to talk about Latinx today, but I didn't want to bring it up
man.
because it's like too much.
No, but it's so good.
I
Okay.
know, but
It's absurd.
we'll get there at some point.
It's a special
They
show.
also call it the
But
gay,
there is
gay
this
Ocho.
festival. Oh, there you go. The
Gay,
gay.
gay Ocho.
Oh,
There you
so you
go.
are going. You already knew about it.
I'm going to ride the float.
Hell yeah.
You're much more into
in more ways than one.
Look at me. I called it Gay 8, which is hilarious.
That's how insensitive you are.
You're so whack.
I'm offended.
It's a very
You and your cigarettes.
new way to do things.
Guys, we're going to lose audience here.
You take words like Latino and you turn them into Latinx, and you take words like Gay Ocho and you turn them into Gay 8.
That's right.
Um,
I'm trying to do gay float for the Key Biscayne Parade
The
still.
Golden Gate Bridge.
that's on Sunday. I bet it's a good time. I've never been, but
Probably.
I cannot imagine that it wouldn't be a good time.
It has to be a good time.
There's always parties. There's a block party, so
Yeah, it's like
having a good
art
time.
and culture and gay stuff. And
Boom.
It has to
having a
be
good
good.
time.
It has to be
Having a
good.
good time, I'll tell you one thing I've learned. It's all about your state of mind. if you're in the mood to have a good time, you
That
will have
is
a good
true.
time. Doesn't really matter where you are.
I'm having a good time right now. On
Makes one of
Friday,
us.
and then
I'm
finally,
Tired.
Friday, February 28th, Pharmacon plays at Churchill's with a couple other bands. Go check that out. Unless you guys have anything else, that's kind of the show.
On the gay vibe.
Oh, let's go back.
Oh,
I could mention at the next show because this is on March 15th. It's the Queer Miami opening at the History Museum. So I'll re-mention that next month. Or, next show, next
well,
month.
that's your calendar. Okay, unless you guys have anything else.
Thank you.
Do you? Does anybody have anything, like a little bit of chispa? A little small talk chispa?
Little
something?
shit.
That's what they're doing for 2 hours, bro. What do you
Nah,
mean?
but I want something that like really challenges me, you know, like putting out a cigarette at Las Rozas or something like that. Like something that'll really make me think. Do you guys have anything?
The drug stall at
anything?
Churchill's.
That to me is fine too. Like that doesn't make me like want to argue.
They're
That
just
doesn't make me
copying the
wanna
German
ba, ba,
model.
ba. Nothing of that makes
What has
me
been happening?
Really, not happening. More like that makes me like.
One of the owners of the corner is opening a pizza shop.
What?
That
And it's,
mother-
oh yeah, and it's a wood-fired pizza
Ooh,
shop.
where?
And I've been to it, and they're not even open yet. And while they were still doing the testing phase,
Could have mentioned that during openings and closings. So
Yeah,
tell me
man.
more.
What
Tell me
the
more.
hell?
I've never been hip, you know. One
Fashionable.
of the owners of the corner,
It's opening up a pizza shop.
he went to Napoli.
Oh.
And forgive me if I'm.
He lost all his money in the slot machines and has to open
No,
a pizza shop to make it all
no,
back.
these guys are doing very well.
That's
They
great.
they own one of the hippest bars in Miami.
True.
And one of the guys who's one of the partners took some time off, went to Napoli, took a pizza course,
Amazing.
had a several $1,000 Napoleon.
Napolitan?
Napolitan, I think it is.
Napolitan, thank you.
Otherwise, it gets
I-
French, and the French.
I
don't
want to
really
be
do
politically correct.
Napolitan.
Had a pizza oven shipped
Neapolitan.
down. He spent the extra
Napolitano.
dough for them to mosaic it, which is traditional, and they put mosaic tile on it, and it's wood fed, and they.
Where is it?
Where is it going to be? Yeah, that's exciting, right?
It's just up the street from our old joint, where the old kitchen supply joints are.
Uh-huh.
It's
Near 1306,
1306.
right there. 1306.
Yes, it's Miami Avenue,
Between
Just north-
14th and
Just north
13th.
of the highway.
just north of the strip club.
Yeah.
Yes. Which
We
is
have
now,
a thing.
is now a
Strip
cab.
clubs need to be mentioned once every show at least. So this is the
And
second
anyway,
mention.
so they're still figuring their stuff out. They're
Cool.
still figuring their recipes out, their menus out. And I got lucky enough to be.
Cool.
They found me under a chair at the corner one night, and the owner said, "Hey Benny, you."
You look like you could use a
He got my name wrong. Didn't you believe it, motherfucker? So he said, "Hey Art, you want to go? We're going over
I'm
here."
jealous.
And I went, and DJ Suicide showed up super late, by the way,
As is tradition.
and which is tradition. And we showed up, and one of the owners, I walk in, and I've known him for a ton of years, and he's behind the counter in this domed fire pit, putting bread and sauce
Amazing,
and
amazing.
sausage in there and cheese, and pulling out these pizzas.
Pulling out the pizza.
All right.
He whipped
That's
the
amazing.
pizza out.
Is it gonna be?
Nice.
Is it gonna be open late
How
night
would
or
you
not?
rate it?
They're not open yet, but next door is that private club. And they were having an event, and all these weirdos kept like.
He's talking about 1306, I think. That's where he's playing tomorrow, or he's gonna be
On
at
like
tomorrow.
the west side of North Miami.
Yeah,
With
West
the
or
outdoor and
East?
with a little indoor place too. It's kind of like the furthest south building on that little stretch before like the
Before
Omni
the
Park, I
highway?
think. is
The one
what
that
Yeah,
used
for
to have
the
the bamboo on the walls.
Yeah, where
on
you
the
like
outside.
White Room and like Eve used to be way.
I'm not that hip, buddy.
It's on North Miami.
Anyway, are they
Yeah.
going to be open late
It's
night?
happening and
Because
it's in Miami.
I keep having this problem.
But that sounds
where
like a.
I'm driving home from
But
the
yes.
studio here, and I want
Yes.
something to eat.
It's
and
your
the-
place that you're talking about because they were straggling in. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
This Taco Bell, get over yourself, homie.
But yes, so
Double decker.
cool enough.
Supreme.
we're having a private party. I got pulled out of the bar, and he said, hey, we're going over to this guy's place. He's firing up the pizza oven, and he's going to be making pizzas all night, and we're having a special party for some dude who was leaving town. I don't know his name.
Dude,
and
where
we
was
went,
I?
and he says, oh, and DJ Suicide's going to be there.
When was this? Like,
This
when?
is like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Damn it. I love
And
pizza.
so I show up, and DJ Suicide's late, and they're all pissed off about it.
Oh, because he was playing.
No, they had invited him. And I sent him a text as his buddy saying, hey, by the way, we're here at this joint, and we're eating pizzas, and I think you're invited. 5 minutes later, a guy shows up. Anyway, it's a hangout time. They got salad. They got these killer pizzas. They go in 90 seconds in the 500-degree heat, and the pizza's ready. And we saw the dude punch the dough balls himself, right? They don't throw it up in
That's
the air.
the technical term, yes.
I don't know.
so sorry.
Right, exactly. They don't throw them up in the air.
I punched the dough balls, and then
So that's your cheese spa or whatever that Rafa wanted?
Do you know what it's going to be called?
That's it.
It's going to be called something.
This is the longest show we've ever had.
And it's the one night that I have to work after
it's-
this. I'm so screwed.
Santi, you've been awesome. You've been a perfect guest,
Thank you.
Thank you.
right?
you, Rob.
Because you have good.
Oh, you're talking about her.
Stop it.
No, I said Santi. Santi has good. Santi has good banter, and he took to it instantly.
He's hating on us, basically.
Instantly.
all right.
He's a DJ. That's what he does.
Yeah,
Don't they say you hate the ones you love the most, right?
but we have been us, the crew,
Excellent.
been a goddamn mess.
I gave a warning. I gave a warning at the beginning of the show. I've had a long day.
Okay.
No way.
I'm tired.
We've
We're
gone
back to a
longer
mess.
than we've ever gone.
We're saving this show. Are you kidding me?
Whoever out there is still listening to us, I salute you, and I will buy you a beer.
So,
That's
If you show
true.
up to the-
And I'm listening, so you can buy me a beer.
Oh.
so
God damn
anyway,
it. Well played, sir.
say your sign-offs. Thank you, everybody. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook and nothingsgoingon.com. Subscribe on iTunes. I want to thank Jolt for hosting us. Always great here on Jolt Radio. I want to thank Santi for coming, and he's going to be playing at 3 Points on Sunday at 6:30. DJ Santi.
At 5 to 6:30.
Oh, 5 to 6:30.
Yeah, you're a mess. You're a mess.
DJ Santi Caballero.
Santiago.
Santiago
Che boludo.
Caballero.
You're Colombian, bro.
Che boludo.
But I can talk shit in Argentinian.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So go check that out.
quiero jugar al fútbol. Vite.
And I don't know if you. There's a pizza shop opening right in front of 11.
Rafa hated your story.
I hope you guys got that.
Eventually, sometime, someday.
No.
Possibly.
We don't know
Actually,
where
I had a great time, but
And we don't like highways.
But we were not tight, and now I'm getting like meta on the show. But
Oh, Jesus. Again?
yes,
Always
again.
with the tight
now,
Boo.
now,
Yeah, boo.
Boo.
now.
Boo.
Okay, so that's the
Oh, wait,
show.
are you aping me? Aping Neil? That's meta. Is that what you guys say?
I don't
Meta
know.
world
I
peace.
don't really use that term.
So anyway, that's the show. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, get the podcast, all that stuff, and play at 1.5 speed because it's what it is.
We'll sound funnier.
Exactly. Okay, say goodbye, guys, or don't.
Bye.
Goodbye, guys.
Good
Love you,
night.
I'm not
Miami.
going to.
Bye.
It was a good one.
Bring the stadium back.